The following is a live sports presentation of Glycod. GLICOD.com.
Glycod's coverage of UA Local 502 Louisville basketball game night starts now.
Live from Rupp Arena at Central Bank Center, it's championship night tonight. The girls champion here in Kentucky will be settled. Will it be four-time reigning state champion Sacred Heart or GRC? They've never won a state tournament, but boy, they're qualified to do so this evening. Hi, I'm Chris LaBar alongside former Mercy coach and KHSAA Hall of Famer Mark Evans. Welcome to Lexington. This is what everybody's been waiting for, Mark, all week long.
Well, without a doubt, Chris, and what you have here tonight, the way the draw went and so on and so forth, you have, in my opinion, they're not only ranked number 1 and 2 in the state, they are definitely number 1 and 2 in the state. I think there's a distance between all the rest of the teams. Both of them have come in and both of them have played extremely well in their previous 3 ball games each, pretty much blowing out their opponents, within reason. And, they seem to be healthy. They seem to have good legs. Coaches feel good about them. So I think we're going to get one heck of a basketball game tonight.
These two teams have already played twice this year, Sacred Heart winning both by an average of 19. They're familiar with one another, and you've talked with both head coaches, and you sense there's a common respect amongst these two programs.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They see each other every time they can. They see each other regular season, and, of course, they play in the best of the tournaments, so they usually run into each other, usually in the finals of those also. Robbie's been right there knocking on the door, and Donna's been just a little bit ahead of him. And, it's GRC's opportunity tonight. I think that, they have the team. If certain things go right, they could really give the Valkyries some problems. I think both of them have similar keys to what they need to do tonight, and we'll talk about those in just a little bit.
George Rogers Clark 28-7. They defeated a very good Frederick Douglass team this morning, 75-52. Kennedy Stamper, season high 27 points. She made 7 threes, and as a team, they made 9 of them. What do you do with all that?
Well, I had that in my notes. One thing about it is Frederick Douglass didn't get out on corner shooters, and Sacred Heart does. Matchups will be different. I know that 2D is going to at least match up. Now, of course, they play switching man, so there'll be various people out there on Stamper, but 2D has got the real assignment on her, and 2D is locked in and understands. I think 2D could give Stamper some problems when she puts the ball on the floor.
Sacred Heart 34-3. They have won 30 or more 5 of the last 6 years. Certainly they've won 30 more the last 4. They defeated Danville Christian this morning 60-44, and it really wasn't that close.
No, it really was, and Donna and I were talking about it, and she was kind of like I was. I kind of looked up and said, oh my gosh, it's only a 12-point game, but that's only because they hit 3 straight threes, but it wasn't by lack of scouting report on Donna's side. Talking about Danville Christian, they ended up something like 4 of 26, so those 3 threes were very insignificant when they were made, but it made it look a little closer than what it really was.
How's Donna Moyer feeling ahead of tonight's state championship game? Find out. She chatted a bit earlier with Mark Evans. That conversation on the way back. KHSAA State Championship Girls Game live on Glycod.
UA Local 502 is offering great career opportunities for plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. They're seeking highly skilled and trained workers with or without experience. Incentives include debt-free education, employer-funded benefits, apprenticeship that comes with employment, and high starting wages. If you're ready to accelerate your career or just want a fresh start, UA Local 502 could be for you. Contact them at 502-361-8492. UA Local 502. We do it right the first time.
Blunt Dental Group is a high-quality, family-owned dental practice. We are committed to educating our patients, as well as investing in the latest technology to provide more efficient dental care. Our team of licensed dentists and hygienists includes 2010 male high graduate Tyler Blunt, located in the heart of Linden at 8013 New LaGrange Road, Suite 6. For an appointment, call 502-425-7068 or go online at bluntdentalgroup.com. Blunt Dental Group, straightforward smiles.
Innovation is what allowed us to reach for the stars. And now, to reach for the ignition without changing your oil for what feels like forever. Introducing Oil Guard, a Ferris exclusive. This innovative Vanguard oil system lets you go 5 times longer between oil changes. Along with Ferris's patented suspension system, you'll cut faster, mow longer, and reduce maintenance.
(1965) male graduate and basketball star George Tensley knows the value of providing quality service. And that's what you get when you dine with Tensley Family Concessions. They provide travelers with many fine choices at Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. Whether it's Kentucky Fried Chicken, Chili's, or Starbucks, you know your travel experience will be a more comfortable and convenient one. Learn more about our company by visiting the website tfcfamily.com. Are you a parent battling with raising your child in today's fallen world? You're not alone. The Operation Parent Handbook is your beacon of hope with info and guidance on social media, vaping, anxiety, and more. It's a resource that equips you with the guidance and conversation starters you need in your parenting journey. Use discount code KIDS at checkout to get 10% off any handbook. Visit operationparent.org to reclaim your confidence as a parent. Operation Parent, you've got this.
When you're buying or selling a new home and you want to do it with few hassles, count on Polo Real Estate Group. Founded and owned by 1993 Male High graduate Dion Reese, Polo Real Estate has over 2 decades of experience and offers skillful consultation and representation for your sale or purchase. Polo Real Estate Group, a realtor you can trust.
This edition of Coach's Comments is brought to you by Polo Real Estate Group, your one-stop real estate source. Founded by 1993 male graduate Dion Reese. Contact him at 502-387-6330 or visit online at polorealestategroup.com.
Mark Evans here with Donna Moyer, Hall of Fame coach from the Sacred Heart Valkyries, going for a 5th consecutive state championship, which is to me is dynasty plus types of situation for me. Looking at that, Donna, you know this afternoon you played. I thought you got out to an excellent start. You just looked like a machine. I mean, they just, it was like matter of fact, just go and do these things and do these things well. Really impressed with your defense. Really impressed with Zakai's defense inside on the Louisville side. Second half, you look like you got a little bored. Missed some shots. And when you needed to regenerate, you typically you did that. What was your thoughts about this morning's game?
You know, I thought the whole tournament and even the regional tournament, we've been kind of locked in defensively and really doing some good things, jumping to the ball, stopping the ball. And so it all started with the defense. I think that kind of generated our offense. But also Coach Danville, Christian had a good game plan where he would go hollow on the post and, kind of put his shooters in the corner, and we defended that pretty well. So I was really happy with our defensive effort.
Well, you told me before we got into this at the beginning of the week, we went from 4 to 3 to 2, and now we're at the 1. But you told me that you've been working on, getting out on these corner shooters, and it really showed. Now, tonight you'll really have to get out on, Stanford.
We mixed some zoning today. We've been working on like a 2-3 zone that we played a little bit today that I thought was very effective, and maybe we'll show some of that tonight too.
Well, I thought against Assumption way back when in that regional tough semifinal, that was the difference in the game. When you went 2-3 zone, they completely got them standing and looking, and it flipped you back and got your momentum back for you. When did you start using your 1-2-1-1 press so much? That's kind of a wrinkle that you brought out. You used to run and jump you at half. 2-2-1 you, but I really like that 1-2-1-1.
Yeah, it's pretty effective for us, and we've got 3 different presses that we use. It just depends on what the situation is. That because Morgan Fry's she's long and she gets a lot of kicks. She gets a lot of touches on the ball up there on the front. It makes it very effective.
Well, they have to throw up over top of her, and that sets you up for all your other quickness, stepping in and making steals and getting turnovers. It's been a great run press for for you, where you've gotten off to 2 or 3 shots, completely changed momentum of games. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree, because we, like I said, we take that and then we just, make sure our weak side goes middle and kind of take away the side, give up the longest pass. But no, it's been very effective for us, and we'll use some of that tonight.
Well, as far as going against, I thought that GRC played really well this morning, and now they didn't play the Sacred Heart Valkyries by any stretch, but I thought they played well. They looked like they got into a good rhythm. They shot the ball well. From what I've seen in the past. What's your thoughts about that? As far as, are you thinking about? I'm sure you marked those shooters and so on and so forth. So what's the plan going?
Well, I think
in?
most of their shooting this morning came from Stamper. And Tootie is, last 2 years has done a pretty good job on her, not letting her get. And then of course, like Trinity Ralston, she scared everybody. But I think Tootie's ready up for the challenge, and I think her quickness might give her, hopefully slow her down and and get out on her as a shooter and make her take shots she's not comfortable with.
Well, I'm sorry. No. I know your kids know the scouting report, because of course in your man-to-man you switch a lot, so a lot of different kids are going to see her, and a lot of times they're going to see her in the corner. But like you've been working, you kind of have that covered. What kind of game do you want tonight? Do you want it up and down? Would that be good for you? I thought today you just completely might have been good through the legs. Mm-hmm. You really didn't. You kind of played a half-court pace.
Yeah, we did.
And it was smart, I thought.
Yeah, we played ran a little more sets this morning, and but we got to start out, and just have to take care of the basketball. Like, we can't make unforced turnovers. Like, we have to start out and really take care of the basketball, and especially against their press, and shots are going to fall, but we can't give them any easy opportunities, and I think that just starts with taking care of the basketball and us getting organized on defense and offense, where we have somebody step up and take the ball, and then we find our person. Instead of running right to our person, we got to just stop the ball and get organized. Same thing on offense, get organized where we can get our spacing and run our stuff, especially on this big court.
Well, what I like is I saw you play several different styles, and you've thrown some zone in. It looks like you can cover about all bases, but you want to get a good start, and part of that good start is avoiding what you've had happen to you the last few days, where you did, like you said, made a few mistakes early in the game, but you righted the ship super quick, and then we saw Sacred Heart and that's a special group. But Don, I really appreciate it. I really do wish you the best.
And it's kind of one of those nights, you live for this night, but also know it's going to be the last time I get to coach Sacred Heart, Zakiya Johnson, and hopefully we can send her off on a great note, and just a special player that, just embraces your coaching, wants to be coached, makes everybody better. Every day is a gift with her, and and the rest of the seniors, they've been great, and what a way to finish it at the state finals.
Well, and what a way to make one more added to your history anyway than Texas tonight. And I don't know Zakiya like he knows Zakiya, but bottom line is, every time I've had any dealings or opportunity to even be around the young lady, it's just a joy.
Yeah.
Wish you the best.
Well, thank you,
the
Mark.
world of you. Take care of yourself.
All right, thank you. Okay.
Buying or selling a new home, and you want to do it with few hassles? Count on Polo Real Estate Group. Founded and owned by 1993 Male High graduate Dion Reese, Polo Real Estate has over 2 decades of experience and offers skillful consultation and representation for your sale or purchase. Polo Real Estate Group, a realtor you can trust.
You cannot depend on Carl to make peace with his seatbelt. Today. Or on Beth to choose the best meal to go.
Is that soup?
Or on Stephanie's perfect parking spot to stay perfect. But you can depend on their car starting because they have Interstate batteries. Interstate batteries, outrageously dependable.
Come by Interstate Batteries, 1510 Production Road, Jeffersonville.
New recruit, take advantage of our apprenticeship program. Come out of our 4-year course debt-free. with health insurance, a guaranteed pension, a degree, and an electrical license.
3 words I'd use to describe the apprenticeship are opportunity, skillful, educational,
solid career path,
rewarding, beneficial, and a brotherhood.
A life-changing opportunity.
The cost of school is free. All your books are paid for.
You go to school once every 2 weeks. All the other stuff is on-the-job training.
The teachers here are great. They're all very, very knowledgeable.
They're preparing you for what you're already seeing in the field.
If you're struggling with something at school, sometimes your fellow students can help you work through that.
Everyone's willing to help each other. It's like a big family.
I love being a part of a union, something bigger than myself.
This field is so vast. You can find something that you really love to do because there is so much you can do.
I went from a job to a life-changing career.
Power up your potential with the IBEW.
People want to define Gen Z, but that's our job.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives. And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Lines are wrecked, not just blinds. Lines are wrecked, not just blinds.
The one way a good person goes to prison is to hurt or kill someone while driving drunk. Why would you throw your life away? John and I are asking you, please don't drink and drive.
This segment of tonight's game is brought to you by the law offices of DeCamillis and Mattingly in Louisville. Our reputation is our trademark.
Tonight's broadcast is copyrighted by the Kentucky High School Athletic Association for the private use of our audience. The use of pictures, video, and audio without the express written permission of the KHSAA is prohibited. It's Sacred Heart and George Rogers Clark and more coming up in just a minute.
Lines are wrecked, not just blinds. Lines are wrecked, not just blinds.
You cannot depend on Carl to make peace with his seatbelt.
Today.
Or on Beth to choose the best meal to go.
Is that soup?
Or on Stephanie's perfect parking spot to stay perfect. But you can depend on their car starting because they have Interstate batteries. Interstate batteries, outrageously dependable.
Come by Interstate Batteries, 1510 Production Road, Jeffersonville.
UA Local 502 is offering great career opportunities for plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. They're seeking highly skilled and trained workers with or without experience. Incentives include debt-free education, employer-funded benefits, apprenticeship that comes with employment, and high starting wages. If you're ready to accelerate your career or just want a fresh start, UA Local 502 could be for you. Contact them at 502-361-8492. UA Local 502. We do it right the first time.
1965 male graduate and basketball star George Tensley knows the value of providing quality service, and that's what you get when you dine with Tensley Family Concessions. They provide travelers with many fine choices at Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. Whether it's Kentucky Fried Chicken, Chili's, or Starbucks, you know your travel experience will be a more comfortable and convenient one. Learn more about our company by visiting the website tfcfamily.com.
Founded in 1910 in the Ohio Valley region, German American Bank has been raising the standards in banking and wealth management for over a century. Big enough to provide the conveniences of modern banking, yet small enough to care about the people and communities we serve. Because we believe that when a community thrives, its people prosper. We're lending more than money. We're lending a hand. German American Bank, building our community together.
Only your locally owned Cub Cadet dealer has genuine parts, accessories, trained service technicians, and the widest selection of innovative Cub Cadet products. We're here for you whenever you need us, with expert service and support to keep your equipment running at peak performance for years to come. Visit your locally owned power equipment dealer, Anderson Sales and Service in Madison, Crestwood, and our newest location at 1675 Waterson Trail in Louisville. You're watching Louisville Basketball Game Night from Glycon.
Mark Evans with head coach of the GRC Cardinals, Robbie Graham, good friend of mine, great coach, been doing this for a long time and been knocking on the door for a long time with just great team after great team after great team. This is the way it's supposed to be, Robbie. The two best teams, in my opinion, in the state of Kentucky squaring off for the big prize. Today I watched you play. I've seen you play all the way through the tournament. I've been here the entire time. I've been impressed. But today, or I guess it was yesterday. Well, it's today, this morning. My days run together. This morning, I thought you were just extremely sharp, and I thought everything was clicking. Your inside game, your outside game. The three going down, which was really important. Stamper knocking them down 7-9. Kelly Chestnut 2 of 4 from the three. Those are things that have to happen tonight for you. Can you tell me a little bit about those two young ladies?
Yeah, both are tremendous shooters. Both put a lot of time in the gym. They're the two young ladies. When practice is over, they're hanging around to get shots up. Pre-practice, they're getting shots up. And, very important when they're making shots. It opens up driving lines for players. It opens up post passes and post buckets for players. And, very important that we make shots. This morning we were clicking. Things are going well. Defensively, we were really good defensively, especially the first 3 quarters. We were really getting after them, challenging shots and rebounding well. So definitely things we have to carry into tonight for sure.
Well, I think it's going to be a defensive war. I love your defense. I really like their defense. I know they've been working not to help off corner shooters. They better tonight or Stamper will have about 30 if they don't get out on her a little bit. As far as when I look at your team, I just look at the development. I mean, you do. It's not just your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players. It's your whole daggone team, and you get them involved, and they play a lot. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about tell the audience out there a little bit about your. The building of the depth on this team that seems to be fantastic.
Right. Well, our practice sessions, we get everybody involved. I mean, we don't just put 5-on-5 and everybody stand and watch. Offensive schemes, defensive schemes, rotations, and everybody gets out there, so you know what's going on, because we always say you're foul trouble or sprained ankle away from going from 0 minutes to playing 10, 15 minutes. So everybody's involved and everybody knows the role, and we tell them the number's called, you got to be ready, because if you're ready, stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Well, as far as the Sacred Heart team goes, I mean, we've all watched them for a long time. What do you see as their greatest couple strengths? They have several strengths, but what are their greatest strengths in your opinion?
Well, they some of the biggest things, they just capitalize on your mistakes. If you make a mistake, they're going to score. You turn it over, live ball turnover, they're going to get a 3 or a transition layup. Then that spurs their defense along. And you make another turnover. Now you're looking at an 6-8-0 run. Now you're behind the 8 ball a little bit. So you got to limit your turnovers, and they rebound well. Their guards rebound well. They go to the glass, offensive glass. They keep you from getting offensive rebounds. So, they really do a good job of rebounding.
Well, for tonight, if you had to hang your hat on 2 or 3 things that you really feel like you need to have happen well for you, what would those be, Robbie?
Well, probably no biggest thing, we can't let Zakiya Johnson have a career game. She's a good player. We're not going to shut her out. She's going to get points. She's going to score. But we can't let her get one of those 35-point super special nights and spur others to play well as well. Also, we got to win the rebounding battle. We got to win that, and we got to win the turnover battle. And we have to attack the basket and try to get them in some foul trouble and get to the free throw line.
Yeah, I think that's her Achilles, if I would say. They're not as deep as they've been in the past, or definitely don't have the post presence. They win a little different way, but you and I both know if 2D's in trouble with fouls or Zakiya's in trouble with the fouls, so much of their game goes through them, it could really disrupt them. I'm surprised I don't see more teams try to do what you're talking about. But, they also play pretty good defense.
Yeah, they do.
Stay in front of you.
They do.
But anyway, Robbie, I wish you the best of luck.
I appreciate it.
I always enjoy watching your teams play and watching you coach. I've learned a lot from you over the years.
Well,
I appreciate you.
You're a Hall of Famer in my book, Coach, and definitely learned a lot from you, and I appreciate the time, and thank you for talking with me.
Thank you, Robbie.
Appreciate it.
Check it.
Need a better battery? Get an Interstate battery. Outrageously dependable.
Should they had an Interstate.
Come by Interstate Batteries, 1510 Production Road, Jeffersonville.
From Glycon, it's UA Local 502 Louisville Basketball Game Night. UA Local 502, they do it right the first time. Tonight's game is brought to you by Tinsley Family Concessions, commitment to quality. The Army National Guard, where the next greatest generation is now. German American Bank, building our community together. Polo Real Estate Group, a realtor you can trust. IBEW Local 369, power up your potential. Blunt Dental Group, straightforward smiles. State Farm Insurance Agent Mike Shelton. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And Holy Smokes Barbecue. Now courtside for all the action from Glycon on UA Local 502 Louisville Basketball Game Night.
It's an electric atmosphere as we welcome you back to Rupp Arena at Central Bank Center. Each student athlete for both teams being introduced and recognized, and memories being made for all these student athletes, Mark.
Well, absolutely, Chris. And the memories for me, looking at this and seeing this, I had to laugh when I watched them step out. My team stepped out and did dance steps. They did the mash, but I don't know what in the world they were doing, but that's what they were doing at the time. And so I remember that. So it's an exciting time.
Hearing Donna tell you about, the bittersweet nature of this, and the last time she's going to coach these seniors, certainly Zakiah, a huge part of that. And, before the introductions, the referees got both head coaches around and a student athlete from each team, and there's Zakiah with her arm around Coach Moyer. It was very moving.
Yeah, I noticed that right off the bat. It almost makes you emotional thinking about it because, for those of us that are lucky enough to have coached great players, and I've had a lot of my own too that are still with me today, and Zakiah will always be there for Donna. You really feel it. You feel it in your heart, and there's nothing like this, Chris. I mean, I wish every coach had the experience, to do this one time and win it one time or two times or whatever. Donna's won it multiple times. Never gets old, but when it's all said and done, it's all about the kid. It's all about the relationship, and it's all about you don't ever say goodbye. You just say, we'll see you next time.
There's so many storylines, one of which is proximity. GRC is 17 miles from here. This is a pseudo home game for them.
Oh, really is. And with these communities as they are, they bring the people. So they shut down the town. I mean, I've been around for a long time, and the town that brought the most and the area that brought the most in my time was Benton, Kentucky. And it's way down in the western part of the state near Paducah, Marshall County. That was the girls team that you had to beat. That was the Sacred Heart of the time that you had to beat. And I remember they would shut their entire city down and everything would be orange. And they used to play in their LIT in Louisville. Everything would be orange. I never will forget the year before we won it in 91, we beat them in the LIT. Now, they were moving in the different direction at that time, but I remember what a big deal that was and how many people that were there. So Clark County's, they're well represented, and Sacred Heart represented, but they're private Catholic school with no guys. So and really not an entire community, just that community. So it's definitely, if this game's going to be based on how many people in the stand, it's going to be a blowout come George Rogers Clark's way, but I don't think that's how it really works out.
And GRC, again, they've never won one of these. They've been in 2 prior state championships. They've lost twice. What did you make of Robbie's philosophy in terms of how he's approaching this game tonight?
He was a great athlete. He's a great coach. He knows exactly what he's doing, and everything he said, if I was on his shoes with his team, I'd be saying the same thing. You got to dominate the boards because you can't let Sacred Heart run or get extra shots.
Quick look at the starters. Tootie Jordan, Zakiah Johnson, Bree Wilkins, Caroline Osting, and Morgan Fry. Zakiah, 3,800-plus career points, and Tootie Jordan on the cusp of stardom as well. The sophomore, a near triple-double earlier today in the blowout win versus Danville Christian. The starters for George Rogers Clark, representatives of the 10th region. Kennedy Stamper, 27 points this morning, including 7 made threes. T. Yeast, which I do believe is Craig's daughter, by the way. Craig Yeast, former UK Wildcat.
Yep.
Jalen Green, transfer from Bryan Station. Sierra Byers and Kiania Jones. Tonight's officials, and a great feat for this trio. Michael Stokes, April Simmons, Brian Yankee, the 3 officials in tonight's state championship game. Thank you so much for joining us on Glycod. It's Sacred Heart, and it's George Rogers Clark. Valkyries, the road team, and GRC to be on the right side, top team in the bracket. So they're the pseudo home team, not only in Jersey, but in fan favoritism, as we mentioned as well. Wonderful representation to our far left of the George Rogers Clark student body. They've got to be 15 rows deep in that far end zone, occupying one quadrant of that end zone, with the band occupying the other lower bowl. A lot of folks from Winchester here.
Well, nothing like high school basketball and bands. My time at Oldham County, one of my favorite things, we had a great band director. His name was Brad, and he brought his band to all of our games, and it was a joy.
Here we go. Byers to jump it up opposite Zakiah. And George Rogers Clark will win the toss and tip, and it's Kennedy Stamper to start for GRC.
We get to see that matchup with Tootie on Kennedy.
Here's Sierra Byers idling in and floats it with a left, and she's called for a travel.
Yep, once again, Zakiah's defense getting in front without fouling. That's going to be a key today. She's got to stay out of foul trouble, and that's Zakiah.
And Zakiah Johnson inbounding to Tootie Jordan, and Jordan, the sophomore point, shifts it across as GRC picks up in straight man to start this game.
2-2-1 press.
Deflected away by Sierra Byers, and that's going to jumpstart a fast break. Stamper with a runner. It's off the mark, and the rebound pinballed right off the noggin of Kiania Jones, and it will belong to Sacred Heart.
Yeah, one thing Donna wanted was her team to settle down, slow down a little bit, and get in the right spots and execute, not get in such a hurry. That time they ran it right through and ran right to the corner, which is where you don't want to go if you're Sacred Heart.
There's Tootie Jordan in backcourt, lofts it to Zakiah, and Zakiah had it stripped away again by Byers. There's Stamper, foul line. Floats it in the corner, Jalen Green just inside the arc. Now Jones idling on that SEC logo in the paint. She'll float it to Jalen Green. Backdoor cut, Stamper catches and is fouled from behind by Caroline Osting of Sacred Heart.
It's a great reaction by Kennedy Stamper, because bottom line, Tootie wasn't going to let her have an outside shot, a corner shot. Tootie turned her head for 1 second, and Stamper back cut her for the backdoor opportunity and the foul.
Kennedy Stamper, one of the top sophomores in the state, draining that free throw. An 88% free throw shooter, and boy, oh boy, was she something else this morning.
Yeah, 40% from the three-point line, too.
Stamper number 0. That one's off to the right. Rebound snared by Zakiah. Sacred Heart into front court, down a point. We played 60 seconds.
GRC will need to make their free throw so they can set the press. So far, the 2-2-1's been quality, but they need to be able to score to do that.
There's Bree Wilkins winding in the lane, missed it. Zakiah follows and got it. And a 2-1 Sacred Heart lead with 6:38 in the quarter as Sacred Heart picks up a couple of second chance points.
Straight up man by Sacred Heart, what we would expect. They switch all screens, or most screens.
Stamper near sideline. It's funneled to T. Yeast as Yeast a lot of length. Inches it down low. Byers double team, spins left. It's off. And Osting coming back for that gang rebound for the Valkyries.
Yeah, really a nice job at GRC that time. Got a mismatch with Byers.
Tootie off the mark on penetration. The ball's going to catapult out to Wilkins at the foul line, and now Osting will reorganize for the Valkyries. There's Tootie Jordan inside front court with 5:58 in his first quarter. Jordan inches it over to Wilkins. Good denial over there by Kanaya Jones. Wilkins drives, lofts it high off the window, and a George Rogers Clark foul.
Well, that's something that Wilkins didn't do so much earlier in the season. She liked to settle for jump shots. It's really made him a lot better now that she's starting to attack the basket because she can make free throws. She's very crafty with the basketball underneath.
Foul on Kanaya Jones as Bree Wilkins for a couple of Valkyrie free throws. We talked a little bit on Wednesday as the tournament commenced about Wilkins, her first ever Sweet 16 appearance, and she has been splendid through the first 3 games. Free throw is up and off to the left. GRC going to their bench. Kylie Chestnut, 5'6" freshman, is on. And she will spell Kanaya Jones as Robbie Graham going a little youthful and shorter here in this game.
Yeah, Robbie will play several players in this game.
Wilkins adding 1 to the tally, and Sacred Heart leading 3-1.
2-2-1 Sacred Heart press.
There's Byers in the corner. On top, Jalen Reed. She'll shuffle to the near sideline to T. Yeast. Green right in front of the Valkyrie bench. Has a stride on Jordan. Floats it with a left. It's off. Green got her own rebound. And Osting with a block shot. Outlet pass. And that basket is going to go in as Tootie Jordan ahead to Osting. It was Fry with the block shot. And the Valkyries lead 5-1.
Yeah, nice job of a finish by Fry in traffic. Nice job, good body control. Excellent outlet pass. As Robbie said, that's one thing they have to stop is transition baskets, and that's one of the hard things to stop against Sacred Heart.
And a 5-1 Sacred Heart lead. Stamper near wing for George Rogers Clark. We played 3 minutes. Up top, Jalen Green, a 3 up top. It swirls out. Byers rebound off the mark. And a Sacred Heart foul.
Yeah, Byers is a force inside, no doubt about it. She really works those offensive boards. Coming off of a knee injury, an ACL injury, that always makes it tough. But she's rehabbed and she's got her season going and got an opportunity here.
And the free throw swirls in for Byers. An incredible story for that young lady, out 13 months with an ACL injury. And she is back, and that right leg is heavily braced. And Byers gets that one to go home as well. So 5-3 as Zakiah Johnson, by the way, picked up that foul for the Valkyries.
2-2-1 by Sacred Heart, but a little slow getting in at that time. They need to be a little quicker.
There's Johnson at the elbow, puts it on the floor, off the mark with that one, and Byers over to Green now as GRC corrals the rebound. Here comes Byers into front court. And Sierra Byers tumbling to the floor. Morgan Fry has it. Now Zakiah digs it out. Outlet Tootie. And Tootie moving a little too quick as the ball trickles off her knee out of bounds.
Yeah, both teams more or less just finding their way right now. Once again, 2-2-1 press by GRC, and Sacred Heart's in their 1-2-1-1. Looking for a spurt.
Kennedy Stamper, baseline jumper. That one a little bit short. And Tootie Jordan back for the Valkyrie rebound as Tootie presses the pace with Stamper behind her. Foul line jumper swirls out. Valkyries had the rebound, but Osting hit the deck, and here's Kennedy Stamper left to right for George Rogers Clark. Stamper inside the lane, back out to Green. Corner 3, off the side of the glass. And Morgan Fry corrals the Valkyrie rebound.
Well, right now, Chris, the pace is perfect for Sacred Heart. They might not be capitalizing, but they love this pace. It's going to be their advantage.
And Wilkins driving, and one as a George Rogers Clark foul as Wilkins with her 3rd point. GRC bringing another reserve in. This is Kylie Stakeland, 5'8" sophomore, as Jalen Green will shuttle out. She's getting an earful from her head coach, Bree Wilkins, for a free throw.
Well, a lot of times what happens in these big ball games is players get out here and try to do more different from what they normally do. And when they do that, it takes everybody out of sync. I think that's why she was getting an earful right there.
The Valkyries taking out Zakiya Johnson as Riley Gilvin, the improving freshman, comes in, and Wilkins completing the conventional three-point play, and it's 8-3 Sacred Heart with 3:38 in this opening quarter.
Well, they had that late game today, and I'm sure Donna's going to try to keep them as fresh as possible, and that's all you're seeing right now. Just giving Zakiya a quick drink, and she'll get her right back in and start a rotation through.
There's T. Yeast veering right sideline. Morgan Fry on her post entry. Back out for a three. Stakeland well short from the top of the key. Wilkins funneled it back in play in the Valkyries' own possession. There's Tootie Jordan far sideline, lobbing it to the trailing Fry, and Fry is fouled, and the Valkyries back to the free throw line.
Once again, Chris, it sounds like a broken record, but this pace, Sacred Heart getting out and running on GRC is not good for GRC. It's only a matter of time that you're going to see a run if they don't correct it. And right now what's going on is GRC, young ladies that aren't as great as a shooter, say a Stanford, are taking quick threes. You know, Stanford's hadn't even seen a three yet, and they're really not chasing her. She's had the opportunity, but they need to move the ball and remember who makes shots for them and who doesn't.
Kennedy Stamper being subbed out. She's getting an earful from Robbie Graham. And Morgan Fry has an imprint all over the first 5 minutes of this game, and it's a touchdown lead for the Valkyries.
Yeah, Morgan's had a great last quarter to in tournament time of the season. Really has come on her own.
Yeast beat the defender, then blew the layup. And Tootie Jordan out with it for Sacred Heart as she'll creep into front court. Outlet, Zakiya Johnson for two more. And GRC, they want a timeout. A 12-3 blitz for Sacred Heart, 2:49. First quarter. More coverage coming up in just a minute on Glycod.
If a drunk driver hurts or kills someone, the bar or restaurant that overserved that person is jointly responsible. I'm attorney John D. Camillus, and Rob and I hold restaurants and bars accountable. Let me speak directly to bar managers and bartenders. Be a frontline hero. Have the courage to cut someone off. If you've been in an accident with a drunk driver, call us. Our reputation is our trademark.
You're watching Louisville Basketball Game Night from Glycod.
Sacred Heart out to a quick 12-3 lead. And doing it in transition, Mark.
Well, jump shots. GRC 7 for just nothing but jump shots. And if they were going to shoot jump shots, I'd make sure that zero, Kennedy Stamper, was shooting number Yeast. The rest of them, they're not even shooting over 30%. I think I'd go inside or I'd have the right shooter shooting. But that's easier said than done. These kids are excited in this big setting, but they can get behind fast.
There's Byers near sideline to Stakeland. A couple of subs on the floor for George Rogers Clark. T. Yeast in the corner, belt high pass near sideline. Stakeland trying to find Byers underneath. Byers plowed right through a couple of Valkyries and will be a Sacred Heart foul as Tootie Jordan, incredulous at the call, picks herself up off the mat.
Byers did a great job of taking the ball over the top and stopping strong. Kind of worries me about her knee when she does that, but it was a good, strong move and a good possibility, and Tootie was way late.
A couple of free throws when you come back. 2:24 in the first. Sacred Heart on top, 12-3. Now this from German American Bank on Glycod.
Founded in 1910 in the Ohio Valley region, German American Bank has been raising the standards in banking and wealth management for over a century. Big enough to provide the conveniences of modern banking, yet small enough to care about the people and communities we serve. Because we believe that when a community thrives, its people prosper. We're lending more than money. We're lending a hand. German American Bank, building our community together.
You're watching Louisville Basketball Game Night from Glycod.
Valkyries out of the gates early, a 12-3 start with 2:24 in the first quarter. We're inside a media timeout, and George Rogers Clark A couple of free throws coming up. What sorts of things do they need to do other than slow down the pace?
Robbie can't be happy at all. He wanted to attack the basket and attack the rim in their offense. He wanted to have the opportunity to get somebody like Zakaya in foul trouble. They're forgetting all about that. They're settling for jump shots around the perimeter, and they're missing them. Deep shots mean deep rebounds. Segar's picking up the rebounds with their quickness and then running it into transition easy basket. Everything that Robbie wanted to have happen in the first 6 minutes is not happening. So he's not very happy with the game plan. He's not very happy with his team's discipline right now. They're just kind of doing their own thing, and it will get them far behind if they keep it up.
This team has 7 losses, but only 2 in-state losses, both to Sacred Heart. Cardinals lost 5 games out of state and some holiday-type tournaments, and this team, they've had a fantastic season despite the 7 losses.
Well, they play the best. Robbie knows that best way to get better is play the best and get all your weaknesses exposed early so you can work to make yourself better. And that's what he does, and that's what he does year in, year out. But like I said, right now, there's no way he's happy because everything him and I talked about has been thrown out the door in this first 6 minutes.
Sierra Byers for 2 free throws. 67% free throw shooter, and that one swirls out. And GRC not doing themselves any favors. They're 1 of 3. They're early going at the foul line.
No, big difference between 80% and 1 of 3 is big difference between the outside shooting, too.
This one goes in as Byers reduces the deficit to 8 as Wilkins in the front. Oh, she threw it away. Kennedy Stamper puts it up and in for GRC. Is Stamper with the steal at half court, and now Riley Gilvin far sideline, and she threw it away. There's Sierra Byers over to Stamper, and Stamper applying the break in the corner. Underneath, Byers spinning on Fry, heaves it long, and there's Fry on the backside for the rebound, spilled it, and there's a turnover. Kennedy Stamper in the corner for George Rogers Clark.
Yeah, Segar is very, very loose with the ball and very casual with their passing. This team will make them pay.
Chestnut off the mark in the corner, and it's out of bounds to the Valkyries as the ball touched last by Kylie Stakelin. Caroline Osting and Bree Wilkins will shuttle out for the Valkyries with 1:44 to play first quarter.
And that's not Chestnut's shot. She's 27 from the 3. She's only taken 73 for the year. She's an attacker. She had the opportunity that time to attack.
Deflected again by Chestnut and saved underneath, and the basket's going to go in for Kylie Stakelin, and we're going to have a Sacred Heart timeout.
That's a beautiful pass. Down on the floor, great vision. Flip the ball right to the cutter.
We're going to keep things right here. What's changed with this pressure because GRC's forced 3 turnovers since the last time out?
They made shots and free throws. They can get in their pressure. That's what Don's talking about, too. Sacred Heart running up and rushing into their press offensive sets. Kind of reminds me of Louisville last night. Louisville blew a 10-point lead in 2 minutes or something like that by throwing to the corners and doing exactly what the press wants you to do. That's what Sacred Heart's doing. Lazy to the middle, not meet the ball, not spread out enough. Everything they're talking about right now is what's going on. But it's mainly getting in and not spreading out and not executing at all.
Yeah, Donna very animated. She paces down to that far sideline, grasping the clipboard in the right hand, chewing on gum.
New press offense to solve this. We'll see how they react to it. They win man press.
1:33 in the first quarter. Sacred Heart brings it across. There's Tootie, and Tootie got it swiped away. There's Stamper for George Rogers Clark as the deflection by Kylie Chestnut. And now Stamper up top. Stamper working opposite Riley Gilvin with 1:15 in this first quarter.
Well, Gilvin's quick and she's long, and Stamper's kind of measuring her opportunities right now, but she hasn't had a very good open look at a 3 yet.
Cardinals on a 5-0 run as we slide under 1 minute first quarter. Yeast veering in. There's Stakelin at the elbow. Stamper foul line has a stride on Osting, and Osting called for a block as she moved her feet just a little bit late.
Well, Chris, they're doing what we talked about. You know, after Robbie's timeout, all of a sudden they're attacking the basket and they're putting Sacred Heart in a position where they have to defend. And right now they're reaching and they're putting their knees out, and so you know they've really turned the script a little bit on Sacred Heart for right now.
Bree Wilkins in, Becca Carson in as well. A common foul that time is the Valkyries now with 4 quarter fouls. 48 seconds left in the period. Byers underneath on the entry, and she got the roll.
Yeah, great turnover, her right shoulder by Byers that time, which was pretty impressive.
There's Becca Carson over to Zakaya. Zakaya into front court for Sacred Heart. Off the window, it's short. Tootie follows and put it in.
Yeah, well, great rebound by Tootie, but once again, Zakaya attacking the basket broke the defense down, and they didn't have anybody in possession, just like we've seen in the past in transition. They need to box out better, but you got to get them early in transition.
Under 10 now, first quarter. Valkyries by 4. GRC with the ball. Green, left-hand dominant dribble. To the right side she goes. Inside Byers. Back out. Chestnut did not know how much time was left on the clock, and that's going to conclude quarter number 1. A 14-10 Sacred Heart lead over George Rogers Clark. Second quarter coming up next on Glycod.
UA Local 502 is offering great career opportunities for plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. They're seeking highly skilled and trained workers with or without experience. Incentives include debt-free education, employer-funded benefits, apprenticeship that comes with employment, and high starting wages. If you're ready to accelerate your career or just want a fresh start, UA Local 502 could be for you. Contact them at 502-361-8492. UA Local 502. We do it right the first time.
People want to define Gen Z, but that's our job.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire. I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives and led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time while I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
You're watching Louisville Basketball Game Night from Glycod.
Valkyries by 4 as we welcome you back to Rupp Arena at Central Bank Center. GRC on a 7-2 run to close quarter 1, and they've reduced that 9-point deficit down to 4.
Once again, they're able to set the press. Press has been very effective. They're extremely active. I made notes this morning watching them play. Is they just smother the basketball, and they put so much pressure on the passer that they can't see the open players. So they're taking big risks, but they're getting big rewards right now. They just have to make shots. Right now GRC is 3 of 18 from the field. You know, they made a few free throws. All these opportunities they're getting, they need to reward themselves. You know, there needs to be points off turnovers. Right now they're not getting a lot of points off the turnovers.
Will be Sacred Heart possession to start quarter number 2. As Becca Carson going to inbound for Sacred Heart as they move it right to left, and Zakaya will handle things.
Some zone activity. Robbie's, you know, being the coach he is, he's confusing Sacred Heart. That's what they're working to do. We'll see if it works.
Carson top of the key, and Stamper in the passing lane deflects it out of bounds. It will stay Valkyrie's ball side court.
Anything GRC can do to slow them down and make them think is a positive. But, you know, the sets that Sacred Heart runs is usually pretty effective. This is a 1-3-1 zone without the trap is what you're looking at right now against the Valkyries.
There's Tootie Jordan up top. Now Fry in the corner. Great diagonal look from Tootie, but Wilkins bobbled a pass and it ricocheted out of bounds.
That's exactly what you want to do against this 1-3-1. Put them to sleep on the backside and make that diagonal cut, or that cut that Bree made, but, you know, unfortunately for Bree, she just tried to shoot it before she caught it.
That's a great find right at the numbers, and it will be GRC possession as Yeast will inbound.
Look at your length out here on this 1-2-1-1, and then you put Tootie in the middle with her speed. They handled it, though, well.
There's Jalen Green, bobbled it, no call, and GRC going to hang on to possession. There's the entry. Kenai Jones funnels it over to Green near wing. Now Byers trying to do something opposite Morgan Fry. Byers a deep 3, no, but the follow's off the mark as well as Jones missed on the doorstep. And Tootie out with it for Sacred Heart.
Yeah, that was a missed opportunity by Jones. That was an easy, simple shot.
Tootie weaving her way inside the defense. That shot comes up empty. GRC pressing the pace. Yeast underneath. Jones, a strong drive, and Morgan Fry guilty of her first Valkyrie foul.
Well, like I said, since the timeout, Robbie has attacked. And I think his players are responding to him. They're attacking the basket right now, and that's keeping Sacred Heart off guard, more or less, and forces them to play defense.
Kenai Jones for 2 free throws. She's more in for rebounding, although she swished that one, just averages 3 points per night.
Yeah, I think she's the second leading rebounder on the team. Doesn't really shoot it very much and really doesn't get a ton of minutes. But when she comes in, she's very active. And it's about matchups. I think that's a pretty good matchup for them.
Jones' second free throw. That one's going to dip to the right and rebound snared by Zakaya. Up now, Bree Wilkins for Sacred Heart. A long 2 just inside the arc. And Morgan Fry, in pursuit of that rebound, picks up another foul. Or did she? Yes, she did. So it's going to be the second foul on Morgan Fry in short order. Riley Gilvin is back in, and we'll see how long Fry stays on the floor with those 2 fouls.
I think this is a move by Donna to get a spark. So far in the tournament, Raleigh, and even in the regionals, Raleigh's came in and gave them a spark. A couple points here, a couple points there, and a play. I think she's looking for that spark.
Got 2 freshmen on the floor with Tari Ralston and Riley Gilvin. Underneath, T. Yeast, a great pass, but she was too far underneath the basket. And here comes Sacred Heart with possession. Tootie Jordan in the corner and thrown away. Intercepted by T. Yeast, and T all the way in for the layup.
Yeah, that's what GRC has to do. They have to get points off turnovers. They have to do it.
And then an uncharacteristic error as Tootie Jordan just stepped over the baseline before throwing the ball in, and that's a turnover. So George Rogers Clark will inbound again.
Well, George Rogers Clark's been capitalizing on the turnovers they created. They'd be up by about 8 or 10 points right now. But unfortunately for them, and fortunately for Sacred Heart, they're missing a lot of easy shots.
GRC the inbound, and that ball swiped away. Tari Ralston deflects it ahead. Tootie Jordan drives, and Tootie puts it in, and a foul. That's going to work up Robbie Graham's blood pressure down to our left as he's screaming at Kylie Chester to race back and committed the foul.
Well, first of all, she didn't race back until she saw people were out in front of her. That's what he's really upset about. Once again, you always have to be ready to play transition defense against Sacred Heart. If you want to let them get 8-10 runs, then don't get back.
Tootie Jordan, a big turn of foot there for the Valkyries as she made the free throw in the lead back to 4 with 6 minutes first half.
But, Chris, you see what I'm talking about. All that action and all that great things happening for GRC, they're still down.
Green at the foul line over to Byers near wing. Byers a muscle drive. It's too long. And the rebound occupied by Caroline Osting as Tootie Jordan into forecourt for Sacred Heart. Underneath to Tari Ralston. And Ralston, unaware of her circumstance, stepped on the baseline.
Yeah, but you'll take that one just because they're trying to push the ball and force the tempo. Sacred Heart's sloppy right now. They're feeling it a little bit, but once again, they're still up by 4 points.
With 5:30 left, I think GRC has to feel pretty good where they are at this point.
Well, I think the coach would say if we make a couple of those layups we've had, we'd be in a lot better shape.
Oh, and a turnover on the weave as Jalen Green lost it right in front of the Sacred Heart bench.
Yeah, you're not playing Sacred Heart to play close to them. You're playing to get ahead of them and put the pressure on them. So, that's what Robbie needs to do, get him over the hump and see how Sacred Heart reacts under that situation.
Tootie Jordan near sideline to Caroline Osting. Now Tari Ralston cuts in, and she's bumped and fouled by T. Yeast. Be the second foul this quarter on the Cardinals.
I'll tell you what, Donna's not afraid to put those freshmen in there. She's playing them at key times, and it really makes a difference. They both come in and spark this team.
Kylie Stakeland back in for George Rogers Clark. Played a little bit in the first quarter.
Yeah. But Gilbin and Ralston is really getting some quality minutes right here.
There's the inbound. Tootie missed it from about 6 feet, and it's off the baseline. And it's going to stay Sacred Heart with 5:03 in the quarter. Osting to inbound underneath.
So look at your lineup out there. You got Tootie, got Sakai and Bree sitting on the bench. So that's a lot of trust in some of these younger players.
Wonderful defense as Fry spun left. It's poked away by Jalen Green. She'll go coast to coast, put it in, and draw a foul. So 17-15 is Green. The transfer from Bryan Station in Lexington is on the board with her first field goal. And Osting picks up her second foul, so now both she and Morgan Fry with 2 fouls, and Zakaya still at the end of the bench for now. She's standing by the water cooler. Now she'll have a seat. As Green knocks down the free throw.
You see if that little few minutes per Bree helps her offensively. Presses on. That's what happens when you make free throws.
There's Riley Gilvin into front court over to Tootie Jordan. A deep three that's short. And the rebound occupied by Kennedy Stamper of George Rogers Clark. They had a 1-0 lead in this game. A basket here would give them another lead. Just over 4 minutes and a quarter.
I'm not so sure Donna like Tootie's long three, but you got to let them shoot it and feel confident.
Kylie Chestnut off the mark from that three, and there's Morgan Fry. Wonderful effort, but she's going to be whistled for her third foul. So with 4:15 and a half, Sacred Heart's primary post presence, certainly defensive and rebounding, hampered with 3 fouls.
Well, what really hurts them is the top of the press if you take her out, and what really hurts them too is the way she runs the court in transition for offensive opportunities.
We want to correct this at the break. There's a foul underneath on Tootie. They only have 2 fouls for Morgan on the board here. So we want to get that amended here the best we can at break.
We might have missed one. There might be a reason why Zakai's down on the end of the bench. I'm not really sure. She might have 2.
With 4:10 remaining in this half, we're going to have a pair of free throws for Jalen Green of George Rogers Clark and a 17-16 Sacred Heart lead.
Well, it's drastically changed since GRC started attacking the basket. It's really put Sacred Heart on their heels and taken away their break opportunities. They have to concentrate so much on rebounding they can't slide out and run.
Emma Zutterman checks in, so Morgan Fry is out. Scoreboard here reads 2 fouls, so we'll go with that temporarily. As Jalen Green for one more free throw. And that one is in. We got a tie game. Tootie across to Emma Zutterman. Stolen by Byers. That'll jumpstart the break there. Stakeland driving. And the Cardinals have the lead.
Yeah, this press has been fantastic for GRC. Absolutely fantastic.
Emma Zutterman, a great athletic play to capture that pass in the open floor, and she is fouled as she went up to the basket. Emma Zutterman, 5'10" junior. Zakiya Johnson at the scores table. She will check in at the next whistle. Becca Carson coming in as well.
Once again, Dye's looking for a spark from Carson from the 3, and Zakiya just to come in and be Zakiya.
Zutterman drains the free throw. As Zakiya and Carson in, and Tootie out for the first time along with Tari Ralston. And we've seen Sacred Heart's role players this tournament each step up in different ways. Perhaps tonight it's Emma Zutterman.
Yeah, I mean, definitely so. They've had a hard time against the press. She split the press and rim ran, and they found her, and she got to the free throw line.
Zutterman missed the free throw, and the ball's deflected out of bounds. 2 officials asking for help, and it's going to stay Sacred Heart ball. Apparently, GRC mishandled the rebound underneath.
Big break. It's rare if Sacred Heart goes in behind, and there's still 4 minutes to go, so a lot of spurt time out there.
Valkyries try a 3. Riley Gilvin well long on that 3, and the rebound grabbed by Kennedy Stamper of George Rogers Clark as they lead by 1 with 3:44 in the half. Stamper near wing. Valkyries once had a 9-point lead late in the first quarter.
Been turnovers, Chris, multiple turnovers.
Here's Riley Gilvin. Speaking of turnovers, she's going to poke it away and take it all the way to the basket. Carson knows. Zutterman throws it back in play, and Stamper out with it for the Cardinals. It's 1 against 2 as Kennedy Stamper drives, and Wilkins back, committing a hard foul.
Hey, as a sophomore, she's awful good. That was so smart. She went on Bree one-on-one and got up in the air and double pumped and bought a little time and created the foul. And she's a great free throw shooter at 87%. That's like 2 points.
Donna Moyer conversing with a near side official as Stamper has that free throw bobble in, and the Cardinals by 2.
Yeah, this pace and everything's right down GRC Valley. I mean, first few minutes looked like all Sacred Heart and everything GRC didn't want to do. Now they're following their coach's leadership and doing exactly what he asked, and it's really helping them out. 2-2-1 press to really give them Sacred Heart fits.
Stamper knocking them both down.
Touch there.
Gilvin near sideline as Sacred Heart possesses it in front court. Wilkins, high left. Becca Carson up top. Here's Gilvin, slithering baseline, floats it short, but she's fouled. Be the 4th team foul this quarter on George Rogers-Clark, and Riley Gilvin will have a pair of free throws when we come back. 2:59 first half. George Rogers-Clark on top of Sacred Heart, 21-18 on Glycod.
The one way a good person goes to prison is to hurt or kill someone while driving drunk. Why would you throw your life away? John and I are asking you, please don't drink and drive.
Research has shown high school sports to be a great community influence. Join scores of local businesses that have partnered with Glycod in sponsoring live, hometown-oriented sports programming on our video and social media platforms. For more information, email info@glycod.com.
You're watching Louisville Basketball Game Night from Glycod.
George Rogers-Clark by 3 with just under 3 minutes in this first half. The 2025 Girls State Basketball Championship, and the Cardinals with the press, it's really changed the complexion of this first half.
Well, 2 things. Number one is they're attacking the basket on the offensive end. They're not settling for shooters that don't shoot great percentages taking jump shots. That's number one. Number 2 is, of course, the press. But they're making a free throw here or there or a shot here or there. They're able to get in that press, and when they get in that press, Sacred Heart's just not handling it well. I mean, they're real bunched up. They're not spread out like they need to be. The middle is standing in the middle for Sacred Heart, but they're not moving, looking for gaps to catch the ball. They're somewhat being exposed right this minute. A little bit of panic on Sacred Heart's side. But once again, we talk all this stuff about, it sounds like they're down by 20 and they're down by 3, and we still got 3 minutes to go in the first half. But the tempo and everything is helping out GRC. We're not getting that free run up and down the court transition offense by Sacred Heart.
Two free throws as the Valkyries sashay down to the far end, and they'll shoot in front of the GRC bench. As these two teams are so familiar with one another, 3rd meeting this year. And we'll have a pair from the freshman, Riley Gilvin, scoreless thus far. And the free throw dips in.
Well, one thing that Coach Graham talked about was whatever they did, they just didn't need for Sakai to have a career night against them. And so far, that's not happened, but you never count Sakai out.
Well, Mark, you made the point earlier, and it's been confirmed Zakiah does have 2 fouls. So
yeah.
She has 2 fouls, and that's why she keeps subbing in and out as that free throw is in again for Gilvin.
Well, they're going offense, defense is all they're doing. They don't want her in there on the defense end. They're going to take a chance on the offense end. They just are telling her, don't charge whatever you do. No player control, no offensive player control fouls.
So 2:48 now. Stamper has an angle on Ralston. There's Green, top of the key. Green at the elbow. Inches it down to Byers. Byers missed again from the front porch. Got a rebound, though. There's a corner 3 that's going to go down for T. Yeast.
Yeah, T. Yeast and Kennedy Stamper. I'm okay with them shooting. 133 Yeast and 140. rest of the time they ought to go inside like they've been doing, and it's working.
Cardinals with a high watermark lead of 4. Wilkins, deep trigger 3 is long that time, and GRC with the rebound as we near the 2-minute mark of this first half. Kennedy Stamper near wing, and there's a great call as she double dribbled right in front of the official.
Yeah, Ralston jumped out on her. I really don't know what she's thinking. I think she's got a little bit of a ticker going on as far as she really wants to get a shot. I mean, if I shot as well as she shot in that first game this morning, I'd want to see the ball a little bit and some open looks. Right now, she's not getting that. You know, credit Sacred Heart or credit her teammates for forgetting the day she already had.
Yeah, 7 of 9 this morning was Stamper in the semifinal win over Frederick Douglass. There's Zakaya back in. She's going to try a long 3 from the right wing that's off. Chased down in the corner by Zakaya. And fouled again is Riley Gilvin. Right place, right time, and she'll go back for 2 more.
Well, actually, you know, she worked for that. She went right to that block and sealed a little bit, and Zakaya found her out of that corner. Zakaya being Zakaya made a great play. I think that Sacred Heart's settling for 3s right now. They probably shouldn't settle for. I think they ran their sets a little bit. I think they might be better off going into the half.
And Gilvin has that swirl out. As Bree Wilkins checks in and Zakaya trots out again, offense, defense, as Mark alluded to.
Yeah, that really throws your rhythm off, no doubt about that. But if she stays only 2, she'll have a whole second half to roll with it.
And Riley draining the free throw, the deficit at 3.
Yeah, with Zakaya out as much as Zakaya is, these Cardinals need to make a bigger impact as far as a difference in score going into halftime.
And GRC possessing the ball, T. East in the wing. She made that 3 deep in the corner. Now she'll be on the wing. Kennedy Stamper, a 3 on the wing. There you go. That's what she was waiting for. Stamper drains her first 3, and GRC by 6. Emma Zutterman puts it in, and a great find from Ralston.
Yeah, that takes the wind out of yourselves if you're GRC. Your three-point shooter knocks down a 3, and everybody stands and admires and forgets to get back on transition defense, and Sacred Heart does what they do well, get a layup out of it. You know, you just can't take breaks against Sacred Heart, and you just can't do it.
Nearing 1 minute now, and we have a hold and a foul underneath on Sacred Heart. That's going to be over the limit as Emma Zutterman is called for a hold away from the ball. And Sierra Byers for 2 free throws as Zakaya's at the scores table about to check in.
Well, she's a 60% free throw shooter, and you know, you can really gain a lot with this 5-count stuff, but you can lose a lot too if you can't make them.
And that one bounces in. She has had a bevy of looks near the basket that have not gone in for her thus far.
Yeah, she's not afraid to go over right or left shoulder, and she's a little bit off balance. But a lot of that is trying to come back from the injury she had. I mean, 13 months off, ACLs can completely change a young lady's life, actually. So give her credit for being out here, but it has affected her footwork and her quickness with that knee right now.
Free throw is off. There's Zakaya tumbling towards the basket, and we're going to have a GRC foul.
I was a little shocked on that one. I thought we might see a Hill ball. But, you know, Donnie had a little conversation with the one official that's down under the basket. Of course, I'm not doing anything wrong because you can't see who's down under the basket anyway. But anyway, she had a little conversation. Since then, there's been a call that went, a block call that could went the other way. There's a no call there. You know, sometimes it helps to say, hey, you know, think about us down there.
Zakaya with a free throw. You've had that conversation a time or two.
Yeah, I like officials. I think most of them are really good. I've always been real laid back. I really am. But, yeah, you know, usually if you don't gripe a bunch, you just have a little bit to say like Donna did, it usually goes a long way. You don't have to yell and scream to get any edges, that's for sure.
Zakaya makes some both. She checks out with her 6-point. And 45 seconds now in this first half. GRC by 3 with the ball. As Green right wing, Green veering left, lofts it with that left. Oh my, well off the glass, but she got it back, put it in, and then was fouled.
Yeah, you know, going into half, GRC really needs to be up. And that was a great play to keep them up at this point in time. just for your own psyche, going in at that point in time.
Emma Zutterman's picked up 2 quick fouls, and Jalen Green, for 1 free throw, shoots them at 69% and steers that one in. And the Cardinals by a half dozen now with 30 seconds in the half.
Yeah, that was great effort by that young lady. That was a big play for the GRC Cardinals.
Wilkins near wing for Sacred Heart up top.
Posting up like they like to do in these circumstances.
And Zakiah finds Ralston underneath, and there's 2 as Tari knocks it in.
I mean, what a senior. I mean, she could have a shot, a fall away, and she finds a freshman.
There's the pass underneath the Byers. Byers turns and shoots. It's off, and Wilkins with the rebound at 4. And now Wilkins over to Carson, and the pass ahead of Becca, and that's going to take us to half. So GRC, the underdog, a 4-point lead over Sacred Heart, as you see some frustration by the Valkyries as they move on back to our right, back to their locker room.
Well, you also have Zakiah coming out fresh in the second half with 2 fouls. Donna was smart, did panic, played 2 freshmen a ton. And once again, it's a very manageable situation when Zakiah comes back. So she can come back fresh, has 3 fouls to play with second half. GRC is still not out of the woods, for sure.
Oh, no. GRC by 4 at the half. More coverage from Rupp Arena at Central Bank Center after this timeout on Glycod.
UA Local 502 is offering great career opportunities for plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. They're seeking highly skilled and trained workers with or without experience. Incentives include debt-free education, employer-funded benefits, apprenticeship that comes with employment, and high starting wages. If you're ready to accelerate your career or just want a fresh start, UA Local 502 could be for you. Contact them at 502-361-8492. UA Local 502. We do it right the first time.
People want to define Gen Z, but that's our job.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire. I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives and led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time while I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Welcome to Holy Smokes Barbecue.
At Holy Smokes Barbecue, our pitmasters smoke up mouth-watering ribs, chicken, brisket, mutton, and more. From sandwiches to full dinners, with a complete list of sides and desserts. Holy Smokes Barbecue. Just tell them that the man in the big white hat sent you.
Order up.
How's the pork chop taste?
It's pretty good. It's the best one I've ever had.
Holy Smokes Barbecue. Tell them the man in the big white hat sent you.
When you're buying or selling a new home and you want to do it with few hassles, count on Polo Real Estate Group. Founded and owned by 1993 Male High graduate Dion Reese, Polo Real Estate has over 2 decades of experience and offers skillful consultation and representation for your sale or purchase. Polo Real Estate Group, a realtor you can trust.
New recruit, take advantage of our apprenticeship program. Come out of our 4-year course debt-free. With health insurance, a guaranteed pension, a degree, and an electrical license.
3 words I'd use to describe the apprenticeship are opportunity, skillful, educational,
solid career path,
rewarding, beneficial, and a brotherhood.
A life-changing opportunity.
The cost of school is free. All your books are paid for.
You go to school once every 2 weeks. All the other stuff is on-the-job training.
The teachers here are great. They're all very, very knowledgeable.
They're preparing you for what you're already seeing in the field.
If you're struggling with something in school, sometimes your fellow students can help you work through that.
Everyone's willing to help each other. It's like a big family.
I love being a part of a union, something bigger than myself.
This field is so vast. You can find something that you really love to do because there is so much you can do with it.
I went from a job to a life-changing career.
Power up your potential with the IBEW.
1965 male graduate and basketball star George Tensley knows the value of providing quality service, and that's what you get when you dine with Tensley Family Concessions. They provide travelers with many fine choices at Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. Whether it's Kentucky Fried Chicken, Chili's, or Starbucks, You know your travel experience will be a more comfortable and convenient one. Learn more about our company by visiting the website tfcfamily.com.
Tonight's halftime report is brought to you by Tinsley Family Concessions, a tradition of corporate excellence and community service. For more, visit tfcfamily.com.
Alongside Mark Evans, I'm Chris LeBar, and welcome back. It's halftime, and George Rogers-Clark, a surprising 4-point lead over the Valkyries.
Well, they're doing what they needed to do after those first few minutes. You know, Coach Graham called that timeout, and they all of a sudden started attacking the basket and put a lot of pressure on Sacred Heart. Then they were able to get themselves in that 2-2-1 press, and it was surprisingly super efficient, if that's a way to say it. You know, it's really created, you know, a situation for Sacred Heart where they're in double-digit turnovers, and you know, that was a concern down ahead. And when Robbie talked, he said, we got to win the turnover battle, we got to win the rebounding battle, and we got to attack and get them in foul trouble. So far, click, 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 he's got them all. But that's for the first half.
It is. And Zakiah with 2 fouls, Osting, Morgan Fry, Emma Zetterman, all with 2 fouls. That certainly bears watching in the second half.
Right off the bat, it bears watching, because if Zakiah gets one early, Donna's going to have some real thinking to do. And I know Donna. She'll trust her senior, keep her in there. But, you know, coming into this, the one thing I really believe that could be the Achilles heel for Sacred Heart would be foul trouble. You know, I didn't wish it on them by any stretch. I just always knew that, you know, they have a couple key individuals that really, really need to be on the court. You know, and 3 probably, but definitely Tootie and definitely Johnson and really Wilkins for the most part. But, you know, definitely the 2 we just said. So we'll see.
Well, and you had mentioned, you know, Robbie's game plan. You'd have to think that's a huge discussion, taking the ball to Zakiah, making her play some defense with those 2 fouls.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt about it. He will be very upset if they get an opportunity to go one-on-one with Zakiah on defense. Right now, Zakiah is defending, is trying to defend Byers inside. I don't know if Donna's going to stick with that. And remember, we talked to Donna, and she talked about her zone. Might see some zone now. You know, I wouldn't be afraid to play some zone. I wouldn't be afraid to play some triangle too. You know, as long as you take away Stamper, you know, you're pretty good shape. But you take away Stamper and Yeast and just triangle it up and stay inside those big post players, yeah, that might be the ticket. Now, Donna don't play a lot of triangle too. That's just me talking, because I would. But I might see some 2-3.
Take a timeout, update your first half stats in just a couple of minutes. Again, a 4-point ball game, GRC on top at half. You're listening to the 2025 Girls Sweet 16 State Championship on Glycon.
1965 male graduate and basketball star George Tinsley knows the value of providing quality service. And that's what you get when you dine with Tinsley Family Concessions. They provide travelers with many fine choices at Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. Whether it's Kentucky Fried Chicken, Chili's, or Starbucks, you know your travel experience will be a more comfortable and convenient one. Learn more about our company by visiting the website tfcfamily.com.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Mike Shelton in Louisville today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
If a drunk driver hurts or kills someone, the bar or restaurant that overserved that person is jointly responsible. I'm attorney John D. Camillus, and Rob and I hold restaurants and bars accountable. Let me speak directly to bar managers and bartenders. Be a frontline hero. Have the courage to cut someone off. If you've been in an accident with a drunk driver, call us. Our reputation is our trademark.
UA Local 502 is offering great career opportunities for plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. They're seeking highly skilled and trained workers with or without experience. Incentives include debt-free education, employer-funded benefits, apprenticeship that comes with employment, and high starting wages. If you're ready to accelerate your career or just want a fresh start, UA Local 502 could be for you. Contact them at 502-361-8492. UA Local 502. We do it right the first time.
Innovation is what allowed us to reach for the stars. And now, to reach for the ignition without changing your oil for what feels like forever. Introducing Oil Guard, a Ferris exclusive. This innovative Vanguard oil system lets you go 5 times longer between oil changes. Along with Ferris's patented suspension system, you'll cut faster, mow longer, and reduce maintenance.
You cannot depend on Carl to make peace with his seatbelt.
Today!
Or on Beth to choose the best meal to go.
Is that soup?
Or on Stephanie's perfect parking spot to stay perfect. But you can depend on their car starting because they have Interstate batteries. Interstate batteries, outrageously dependable.
Come by Interstate Batteries, 1510 Production Road, Jeffersonville.
Founded in 1910 in the Ohio Valley region, German American Bank has been raising the standards in banking and wealth management for over a century. Big enough to provide the conveniences of modern banking, yet small enough to care about the people and communities we serve. Because we believe that when a community thrives, its people prosper. We're lending more than money. We're lending a hand. German American Bank, building our community together.
You're watching Louisville Basketball Game Night from Glycod.
Now for a look at your first half numbers presented by German American Bank. Support your community school with a German American School Spirit check card. Visit GermanAmerican.com for more information. Without a 3 is Sacred Heart in this first half. What role has this had in that game so far?
I don't think that's really had a big role as of right now. I think just the flow of the game and the opportunities, it just didn't show up, and also with the Kai in and out, just didn't show up. I didn't think a lot of that, but what really jumped out at me as I was just watching the game without stats in front of me when it came to rebounds, I really felt like, Robbie had clicked all 3, but really Sacred Heart's got 8 offensive rebounds. They got 16 defensive rebounds for a total of 24, and GRC's only got 5 offensive rebounds, 8. They only have 13 rebounds, but what really jumps off the page is 14 turnovers for Sacred Heart, only 6 for the Cardinals. The other thing that really jumps off, both teams are shooting not well. They're shooting in the 30s. But the other thing that really jumps off the page to me is they're pretty much even on paint points, but points off turnovers that typically Sacred Heart kills you at is 14-4 GRC. Second chance points are about even, and that's usually something Sacred Heart kills you at. Fast break points is unbelievable. That's 8 and 8. So each of them have 8 points off the fast break. That's something Sacred Heart usually kills you at. So, the bench points, Sacred Heart, but we talked about Robbie's deep bench. They're Sacred Heart's still up 8-4 on bench points, but it's almost a wash. So it's a daggone good thing the Sacred Heart's been rebounding the ball a little bit, or it could be worse. But look for them to come out really strong this second half. The biggest thing that Coach Graham's going to have to do is convince his team to keep on keeping on the same way and not start looking at the scoreboard hoping you're going to win the basketball game because you're not used to being Sacred Heart. They need to expect to win the basketball game, and that's easier said than done. Let's see how good of a psychologist he really is.
Well,
and he's a great coach.
He sure is. And the foul situation starting to pile up a bit for Sacred Heart. Caroline Osting has 3. But then you've got Tootie Jordan, Zakiah Johnson, Morgan Fry, Emma Zetterman, all with 2. So keep an eye on that as we get deeper into this game. GRC on top of Sacred Heart 31-27, and the second half is next from Glycod.
New recruit? Take advantage of our apprenticeship program. Come out of our 4-year course debt-free. With health insurance, a guaranteed pension, a degree, and an electrical license.
3 words I'd use to describe the apprenticeship are opportunity, skillful, educational,
solid career path,
rewarding, beneficial, and a brotherhood.
A life-changing opportunity.
The cost of school is free. All your books are paid for.
You go to school once every 2 weeks. All the other stuff is on-the-job training.
The teachers here are great. They're all very, very knowledgeable.
They're preparing you for what you're already seeing in the field.
If you're struggling with something in school, sometimes your fellow students can help you work through that.
Everyone's willing to help each other. It's like a big family.
I love being a part of a union, something bigger than myself.
This field is so vast. You can find something that you really love to do because there is so much you can do with it.
I went from a job to a life-changing career.
Power up your potential with the IBEW.
You're watching Louisville Basketball Game Night from Glycon.
Well, let's see what the second half brings as Sacred Heart, in pursuit of their 5th consecutive state championship, GRC, in the quest of their first, and the Cardinals a 4-point lead as we get set for the second half. Going to be Cardinals basketball to begin.
Well, let's see if they continue what they've been trying to do, and that's attack, attack, attack. And, put Sacred Heart on the heels, use those bodies inside, and use Byers, and really make it tough on Sacred Heart. And once again, look out there. You got Zakiah guarding Sierra Byers. I'm not saying it's the wrong move because I think it's a great move. Donnie just has a lot of guts and has a lot of trust in that senior. But got to be smart here. And I wouldn't be so sure that they don't go through some 2-3 zone as long as they can find Stamper.
As GRC right to left to start this second half. Near sideline, it's Jalen Green. As now Green centers it to the middle of the floor for this Cardinals offense. Kennedy Stamper in the corner, shadowed by Caroline Osting with those 3 fouls. Elbow jumper from Kalani Jones is well off the mark, but tracked down by T. Yeast, and GRC with an offensive rebound. There's an entry to Byers. Byers guarded by Zakiah. Spun out to Stamper in the corner. And Stamper left-hand dribble. There's a T. Yeast 3, top of the keno, and Johnson claims the Sacred Heart rebound. As here comes Zakiah into front court, evading the block. And there's a blocking foul called on George Rogers Clark as they were camped out underneath trying to initiate the foul.
Well, coach is calling Yeast over, and he's saying, my gosh, you had the opportunity, young lady, to make a game-changing play. All you had to do was set yourself up for a charge, take a charge, and we have the best player in the state sitting on the bench. That's exactly what he said there. That's exactly the message.
As Zakiah drains the first free throw, the second one in as well. And Zakiah now with 8 points as the deficit reduced to 2.
All right, Sacred Heart in that 1-2-2 now, which is very similar in the way it rotates.
There comes Jalen Green into forecourt as Green guarded by the retreating Bree Wilkins, who noticeably has that right knee bandaged, that big ace bandage there occupying much of that lower leg.
Well, it's a burn. It's a scratch is all it is.
Okay, in the corner there, that's Kenai Jones. As Jones baseline bulldozes her way and lays it in. Here comes Tootie Jordan into front court, the lead at 4. And racing back is Yeast to knock it out of bounds. It'll stay with Sacred Heart on the near sideline.
I'm a little surprised about that. I thought that Coach Graham would go right back on the made shot to that 2-2-1 that's been so successful. But he might want to wait a few times, knowing that Sacred Heart probably worked on it in the locker room, and then spring it on a little bit later.
There's Tootie up top. Zakiah long with that straight iron 3, and a rebound secured by Kenai Jones of George Rogers Clark as they lead by 4. A minute deep third quarter. Kennedy Stamper in between the wickets in front of the GRC bench. Up top now, Jalen Green. Green veering left. She's left-handed and blew right by every Valkyrie for 2.
Yeah, that was a misdirection. That was a great play. You know, Coach Coach Green had it, but it was too late on the call, but they drew the defense completely away and cleared out for a wide-open layup.
There's Zakiah near sideline as Sacred Heart for the second time trailing by 6. Tootie in the lane. Back over to Morgan Fry. A baseline jumper is long. And there is Zakiah called for a foul. No, beg your pardon. She was fouled.
She was fouled. She was very fortunate on that call, but they went across her, put an arm bar on her hip and went across her to tip that ball away.
So the foul on George Rogers Clark. There's Zakiah baseline jumper short with that one. Caroline Osting chases down the Valkyrie rebound. Now Zakiah right wing three is in.
Yeah, made a mistake when Zakiah was able to hit those 2 free throws. Now she's going to heat up. She's on a mission now, so Coach Graham concerned about that, not to have a career. Now he doesn't want to have a career second half.
Zakiah with 11. The lead at 3 for GRC as Jalen Green has it in the corner. Up top now, Sierra Byers. Byers working against Zakiah.
Excellent patience. And you got Tootie out there pretty much shading it. Stamper, take away the 3.
There's Green, good retreating by Osting as Green now shuffles it far sideline. Across the court to Byers. Byers spinning left. Stamper from the foul line. It rattles off at the rebound. Sacred Heart, it's Bree Wilkins as Wilkins pacing into front court. Wilkins driving to the basket, puts it in.
Great play at just the right time by Wilkins. Just got right into her chest of a retreating a Cardinal player. But once again, take a charge. That's what Coach is saying. Take a charge. People run through like that. Take charges.
4:42 in this third quarter. GRC by 1 as Yeast working opposite Morgan Fry. Now Yeast spinning in, evading Fry. Fry grabbing the missed shot. And the Valkyries with a basket here can retake the lead as Zakiah in the corner. That's Osting. Osting up and off, and Bree Wilkins missed a bunny on the backside, and GRC has the rebound. There's Stamper. And the courtside pass to T. Yeast as GRC.
Chris Payson's getting too fast again and switching over Sacred Heart's way.
And Byers, a roof scraper 3 from high right.
Couldn't have came at a better time for the Cardinals because Sacred Heart's really, really trying to push that pace. Everything's being played faster now. That's not to the benefit of George Rogers Clark.
There's Morgan Fry driving and a foul whistled on GRC's Sierra Byers with 3:44 left. Robbie Graham begging for a jump ball.
Yeah, I think Robbie has a great point. The foul came after the jump ball. She held the ball for numerous seconds and then pushed her down. So
Morgan Fry for 2 very large free throws, and the first one stays in. As Riley Gilvin checks in, Bree Wilkins out for Sacred Heart.
Yeah, Bree was really beginning to assert herself. I doubt she'll be out too long.
As Fry steers that one in. 2-point Cardinals lead with 3:44 in the third quarter.
Comes that 1-2. Well, it's just a man matchup right now.
There's Jalen Green all the way to the basket, lays it up and in, and she's got 4 quick ones for the Cardinals.
Well, nobody stopped ball. They just let her go straight to her spot. Give her credit for a little pull-up runner.
There's Tootie in the lane to Fry, partially blocked by Stakelin, and GRC turns it back over, coming up the floor. A travel on Kylie Stakelin.
Yeah, Kylie caught the ball, turned around, and wasn't ready, and all of a sudden Tootie was standing in front of her and created that turnover just by being there.
Yeah, pace really picking up. You see a lot of tired young ladies out there, especially in white. And an over and back violation on the inbound, basically stepping over the baseline is Sacred Heart for the second time tonight.
Yeah, not sharp. Coach Graham might want to call timeout for rest reasons. I don't think he wants to play this up and down pace. He might want to take a break and refocus.
There's Jalen Green into front court, guarded by Gilvin with 3 minutes, 11 seconds remaining. Anxious times at Rupp.
Here's that matchup Coach Moore talked about. Tootie on Stamper. Stamper gave the ball up relatively quick that time.
Green feeds Byers underneath. Byers build high pass in the lane. Shot blocked as Morgan Fry with a rejection from Kylie Chestnut. And Sacred Heart with the ball. Here comes Osting. Hand off to Zakiah behind her.
Zakiah's settling them in an offense. She's getting them straight.
There's Riley Gilvin near wing back to Zakiah. Zakiah veers left. Left-hand layup is in.
Look, Chris, what you saw there was a fantastic job of clearing everybody to the right. And Zakiah was wide open on the left, and there was no help sliding over to even think about challenging that shot or taking the charge. Great play.
Donna Moyer looks up at the scoreboard clock. It reads 2:11. And a 2-point George Rogers Clark lead. They led by 4 at half. Kylie Chestnut handles. There's Byers underneath. Byers belt high pass. Top of the key. It's Stamper. Stamper idles left and fumbled it forward. And it's stolen by Morgan Fry. Sacred Heart with the ball. Tootie ties the game.
Coach Graham needs a timeout. I've been there and done that against Sacred Heart right now. You got Byers is dying. She's having a hard time getting up and down the court right now. She's a key player. I'd give them a rest. There's no tomorrows right now, and it's going to switch quick. And if it switches quick, Sacred Heart will push it out.
1:30 left. Next whistle is immediate timeout. GRC able to hang on to the ball. And a missed shot, and another Valkyrie run out. Osting puts it in, and there's the timeout. Was it a possession late? But GRC does call a 30 with 1:18 in this third quarter. Valkyrie's on a run, a 2-point lead, and we're back right after this.
If a drunk driver hurts or kills someone, the bar or restaurant that overserved that person is jointly responsible. I'm attorney John D. Camillus, and Rob and I hold restaurants and bars accountable. Let me speak directly to bar managers and bartenders. Be a frontline hero. Have the courage to cut someone off. If you've been in an accident with a drunk driver, call us. Our reputation is our trademark.
This segment of tonight's game is brought to you by the law offices of D. Camillus and Mattingly in Louisville. Our reputation is our trademark.
Valkyries on a run to close this third quarter. Now they lead by 2 with 1:18 to play. And GRC now has contracted some of those turnovers that Sacred Heart had in the first half.
Called fatigue. You wear down. You make bad mistakes. You take bad shots. Wrong people shoot the ball. And like I said, as many timeouts as you get with these TV timeouts that they show, you just got to let them rest. Got to keep them focused.
Now Stamper idling around as we near the 1-minute mark of this third quarter. Stakeland drives, banks it in from the paint.
Excellent drive, excellent shot.
There's Tootie Jordan back to the closing. Zakiah up and off. Rebound. Out of bounds. Sacred Heart has it with 42.2, and this will be immediate timeout. Tie game, 42 seconds in the third. Sacred Heart basketball after this timeout from Glycod.
Are you refrigeration tech looking for new opportunities? Tech 24 is your single source for commercial HVAC, refrigeration, and kitchen equipment maintenance all across the country. We have exciting career opportunities with great pay and benefits in your area. To learn more, contact Brad at 864-549-8344 and check us out on the web at mytech24.com. 864-549-8344.
This segment of tonight's game is brought to you by Tech 24, a commercial food service repair company. Find out how you can train for a rewarding career and earn top pay and benefits by visiting mytech24.com.
Tie ball game. 42.2 in this third quarter. It will be Sacred Heart basketball underneath. This game shaping up to be something else in the fourth, Mark.
Yeah, it's going to be a game of coaching. It's like a chess match, as we talk about. Only Robbie wants a real slow, think a lot about it, run the timer to the end on each play. Donna wants to push, go, go. And, timeouts to rest kids, timeouts to stop runs is going to be super important. Once again, you got Zakiah. She weathered an entire quarter, a lot of activity, 2 fouls. So, all that stuff's out the window. So it's going to be a war right now. And we'll just see if GRC can keep the pressure on.
Cardinals still in their huddle as the media timeout has concluded. And here come the GRC grouping. And so we'll have an inbound from Tootie Jordan underneath. There have been a couple of skirmishes where Zakiah has been involved where there has not been a foul called.
Yeah, she stayed really clean. I haven't seen anything that she's done. Sometimes she concerns me going down the lane in the open court, but she avoids contact really well.
There's the inbound to Zakiah. Back up, long three in the corner. It's out. And bodies tumbling on the backside, and it's gobbled up by George Rogers Clark, Kylie Chestnut. Oh my, and they throw it away coming up the floor. There's Zakiah in the corner with 24 seconds in the third. Over now, Tootie Jordan. Jordan in the lane, splits defenders, and she is fouled with 17.8 left, and Jordan will shoot 2.
Yeah, I think that when you look out here right now, Chris, and you look at the game going on, you look at Sacred Heart with this guards. Coach Graham talked about how well their guards rebound. Well, they're pretty much almost all guards. I mean, Morgan maybe not, but they're just attacking the offensive glass, just attacking it. And really, GRC has no answers. They're standing under the basket watching it happen.
Tootie knocks down the free throw. She will have one more as Jordan now creeping up. She's got 8 points. And the second free throw in as well.
Here comes the press. Yep, retreating. Going to play straight up man this last little bit.
Stamper into front court, 10 seconds in the third.
High screen set by Byers. Going to play off of Byers right now.
Now
Double
8 seconds.
screen.
Here comes Stamper at 5. Penetrating the defense. Foul line jumper is in. And that's going to close the third quarter. A huge basket for Kennedy Stamper. And we're deadlocked at 44 entering the fourth quarter. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll have the final 8 minutes live from Lexington right after this.
New recruit, take advantage of our apprenticeship program. Come out of our 4-year course debt-free. With health insurance, a guaranteed pension, a degree, and an electrical license.
3 words I'd use to describe the apprenticeship are opportunity, skillful, educational,
solid career path,
rewarding, beneficial, and a brotherhood.
A life-changing opportunity.
The cost of school is free. All your books are paid for.
You go to school once every 2 weeks. All the other stuff is on-the-job training.
The teachers here are great. They're all very, very knowledgeable.
They're preparing you for what you're already seeing in the field.
If you're struggling with something at school, sometimes your fellow students can help you work through that.
Everyone's willing to help each other. It's like a big family.
I love being a part of a union, something bigger than myself.
This field is so vast. You can find something that you really love to do because there is so much you can do with it.
I went from a job to a life-changing career.
Power up your potential with the IBEW.
You're watching Louisville Basketball Game Night from Glycon.
Kennedy Stamper with an elbow jumper to close the third quarter. And that's going to draw us even as we get set for what should be an outstanding fourth quarter to settle the state championship in 2025. Now, what's the mentality on both these sidelines, Coach?
Well, Robbie's talking about how important it is to keep attacking and get to the free throw line. They've only been there one time this third quarter. They got to get there more. But if they get there, they got to make free throws. He's also talking about taking care of the ball and not giving in to fatigue. I wouldn't be surprised to him get back into that press. I sure would. You can't leave anything on the table tonight. As far as Donna goes, she's saying, ride the wave, ladies. We're feeling it. There's no doubt about it. We're starting to get the advantage. We're crushing the offensive boards. Just take your time, take a breath, and put the ball in the basket. Don't just throw it at the basket.
These two teams means nothing now, but they played twice this year. The Valkyries won them both by an average of 19 points. But tonight you just had the sense this one was going to be much, much more narrow.
Different team, different time, different stake. But one thing about it is Sacred Heart beat them twice. That's got to be in the back of the GRC minds. And if they're afraid to lose, it's not going to be good. They have to keep attacking.
Tootie Jordan in the baseline driving, and it just does rattle off as we have a GRC foul.
Tootie with a great drive with that left hand, and once again, she's exerting herself. There's nobody that can stay in front of her. She's going to break the defense down, and they're going to hit the offensive boards.
Fourth team foul, or rather the fourth foul on GRC's Jalen Green. The first team foul this quarter as Tootie drains the free throw. Both these point guards, Stamper and Jordan, shoot free throws so well, both in the mid to high 80s.
That's both at 87 or so as of this morning.
And Tootie again, and the Valkyries by 2. And they're going to pick up.
Press.
Yes, they're going to press in backcourt as Stamper working her opposite 0, which is Tootie Jordan.
Yeah, it's just straight matchup, man. They're just retreating. They're just picking up full. They're not running and jumping. They're not zone trapping. They're not even looking for traps. They're looking to stay in front of this team and make them work.
There's Yeast, double team, baseline, splits the double team, and there's a Valkyrie foul. I think one of the officials was going to signal jump ball, and the far side official saw a foul, and the officials meeting in half court to talk about it.
Yeah, I'd have to say that was a jump ball.
And it is. So the far side official signaled jump ball, and that ultimately will be the call. It's going to stay Sacred Heart possession.
Yeah, been a good crew, you know, give them credit for talking about it because pivotal time of the game, every play matters a lot, and that was obviously a jump ball. There might have been a foul, but it was a jump ball long before there was any foul called.
Well, I beg your pardon, Mark. It's a GRC possession, so it's Cardinal ball.
It's still a jump ball, though.
As GRC with the arrow in their favor, the near sideline, it's T. Yeast.
Yeah, it beats 3 fouls on Johnson for Sacred Heart.
Yeast, pocket picked by Tootie, and Tootie coming up the floor. There's a foul from behind, and it's just going to be a shooting foul as the Sacred Heart bench asking for an intentional.
That's what happens when you're trying to win your 5th state championship and everything matters a bunch. You're going to beg and ask for everything you can get. There was no intentional there.
So Tootie long with that free throw. She'll have one more with 7:03 to play.
It's gotten quiet in here, Chris. You know, all these GRC fans, they need to help their team out and really get going. They need every little bit to get some energy out here.
3-point advantage. Tootie made 3 of her last 4 here in this quarter. As Kennedy Stamper working opposite Jordan.
Yeah, Tootie's measuring, looking for the tip-away steal again. Stamper's not messing with her. She's getting rid of the ball and then running out in the offense.
There's Stakelin in the corner for a 3, and that's going to go for Kylie Chestnut, the freshman.
Wow. That was impressive. She's a 29% three-point shooter.
Oh, we got a steal at the other end and stolen back by Tootie Jordan. She's going to fling a 3. That's short in front of the Valkyrie bench, and Stamper chasing down that rebound. And GRC with numbers is Stakelin. A 2-on-1 Stakelin puts it up and in.
Yeah, Zakai thought she fouled that time. Probably did, got by with it. She was doing everything she could to avoid that situation. That was almost number 3.
And we're going to have a Valkyries timeout. The Sacred Heart going to pause play. 6:10 to play and a 49-47 George Rogers Clark lead. Sacred Heart basketball right after this timeout.
Go ahead, pour it on, as thick as you want to. Holy Smokes Barbecue and Catering, serving up the tastiest ribs, chicken, brisket, brown sugar sticky wings, mutton and ham, always served to you fresh and so good it'll make you say,
"Holy smokes!"
Holy Smokes Barbecue and Catering, 7508 Preston Highway.
Holy smokes!
You're watching Louisville Basketball Game Night from Glycon.
6:10 to play. George Rogers Clark by 2. And Sacred Heart basketball at side court. It'll be Zakiah Johnson to inbound.
Yeah, Donna's telling them just slow down and execute. Just like she talked to me before the game. Slow it down, execute. You just get in a big hurry, and it's creating people taking wrong shots, wrong places, rebounders not being in the right places. She's just telling them to settle in, settle in. Not sure what that foul was about with Stamper.
Yeah, got a Stamper foul. GRC has 3 fouls in this quarter as we near the 6-minute mark. That bears watching as well.
Yeah, that was not a good one.
There is Tootie Jordan near wing, right in front of the Sacred Heart bench. Up top, Riley Gilvin. Now Zakiah near wing, going to back the defender in. Turnaround jumper is in.
Beautiful. Beautiful turnaround by that young lady. Just beautiful against the defense and almost behind the backboard, to be quite honest.
We're tied at 49 with 5:41 in this fourth quarter. T. East inches it up to Stakeland. Foul line. She made a big basket for them the last trip down. In the corner, that's Stamper at the elbow, and Stamper now retreats.
Yeah, now they just have to stay away from wrong people shooting in wrong places. They just have to keep to the
There's Byers
game
chiseling
plan.
left, leaves it short, poked out off of Morgan Fry. It's going to belong to George Rogers Clark with 5:16 to go.
Excellent move by Byers over that right shoulder. Just couldn't get the right angle, couldn't get the drop.
Yeast to inbound in the corner. That's Stakeland, and stolen away. Anticipatory, that is Tootie Jordan down, and Tootie gives Sacred Heart the lead.
Great play by Tootie, and ill-advised play by the Cardinals on that one. You just can't pass backwards across the defense like that unless you want to give up layups.
4:54 remaining in the game. Sacred Heart by 2. Chestnut rotates it around. It's Kanaya Jones with this GRC outfit in the half court. Basket here ties the game again. Stamper cut off at the foul line, cutting to the basket, and a Sacred Heart foul as Byers got the pass. I think the foul occurred prior to, and foul whistled on Tootie Jordan.
Yeah, I think that's on the floor would be my guess.
It is Tootie Jordan with a foul, her first.
Once again, this is the time for a great inbound play or a coach's timeout to talk about what they really want out of the offense.
And an inbound pass stolen away. That's Osting that funneled it back in play. Tootie runs the floor, leaves that short, and here comes GRC with a run out at the other end. That's Jalen Green. Back to Stamper, the trailer. A 3 in the air. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know where she's been all day. They haven't found her. She's been open. I'd let her see the ball. My gosh. When you're hot, you're hot. And she hadn't changed on my mind.
4 minutes to go. 1-point game. Osting dribbling, driving. Left that shot short. And GRC with a rebound. Here comes Jalen Green and Fry. A foul from behind coming up the floor.
Shaping up like a crazy one, Chris. I mean, it's every play matters. It's really wild right now, I think. It could go either way.
Morgan Fry with her third foul. Tari Ralston will come in as Osting checks out. So GRC ball by 1, 3:54 to play.
When it comes down to this, it usually comes down to the superstar making the play. And right now, the best player on the court is Johnson. So let's just see how that plays out.
Well, Kennedy Stamper is not too distant second. She has had an exceptional tournament.
Yeah, absolutely, but Kennedy doesn't do quite all the things that...
Of course, Yeast drives, puts it up. No, Yeast got her own rebound, and Fry, a big takeaway for the Valkyries. Here comes Tootie Jordan.
Yeah,
Jordan inside the lane, and she lost the handle and is fouled.
I was getting ready to say, Tootie's probably 1A of that group of players that can make a difference right here down in the end.
So Tootie going to ask for 2 free throws, and the official grants. Or no, so sideline out of bounds for the Valkyries. There's Morgan Fry up top, GRC with their 4th foul. Zakiah, a big 3!
Now right on cue, Chris, right on cue. You expect the great ones to be great when it counts the most.
3:20 to play. Sacred Heart retaking the lead by 2.
Need to be in attack mode.
There's T. Yeast handing it up top to Jalen Green as we near the 3-minute mark.
Tootie knows where Stamper is, that's for sure. That's her guard. Switching out.
Yeast far sideline around the horn to Chestnut. Underneath, and Zakiah awkwardly bumped Green, it looks like, and there will be a Sacred Heart foul. That's the 3rd on Zakiah. And we will have a media timeout. No free throws. It'll be an inbound underneath when we come back. 2:47 to go. Sacred Heart by a basket, 54-52. Stay with us on Glycod.
Are you a parent battling with raising your child in today's fallen world? You're not alone. The Operation Parent Handbook is your beacon of hope with info and guidance on social media, vaping, anxiety, and more. It's a resource that equips you with the guidance and conversation starters you need in your parenting journey. Use discount code KIDS at checkout to get 10% off any handbook. Visit operationparent.org to reclaim your confidence as a parent. Operation Parent, you've got this.
You're watching Louisville Basketball Game Night from Glycod.
Chris LeBar and Mark Evans back live at Rupp Arena at Central Bank Center. 2:47 to go. Sacred Heart by 2. GRC will inbound underneath when we resume action.
Yeah,
Sacred Heart with 3 fouls in this quarter, also 3 timeouts. GRC 4 fouls in the stanza with 3 stops.
But what I'd like to see here from Robbie is I'd like to see his best inbound play to free up his best three-point shooter. I think it's going to take something extraordinary for GRC to get over this hump and take out the defending champion. And I think a 3 could be just that little that they could use to at least make it. I think it would change the climate a little bit, but I think it's going to take something extraordinary, because if not, I think between Tootie and Zakiah, they're going to take this baby home for the Sacred Heart Valkyries.
Well, Zakiah making that huge 3 for Sacred Heart as she's just done so much for this program and trying to lead to an unprecedented 5th straight state title. Never happened before in the state of Kentucky, and for her to finish her career with 4 state championships is just unheard of.
Oh, God.
So we'll see the dilemma here for GRC in terms of what they draw up out of the dead ball. Again, no free throws after the foul. It'll just be a common foul and an inbound by T. East underneath.
Closest opportunity anybody's had in a while, though, to get Sacred Heart right now.
Driving baseline right past Tari Ralston, and a Sacred Heart foul. And it will be on Tari, so the Valkyries with their 5th foul. Beg your pardon, their 4th foul as GRC for 2 free throws.
Here's where the free throw shooting comes in play. 69% on the year, no bigger than these 2 right now.
And the free throw falls in for Jalen Green.
She shoots 68%. She needs to get that next one.
Green's had a solid game, 12 points, 3 rebounds, trying to tie the game with 2:40 to go. And she got the roll again.
Good for that young lady. Got a confidence. Here comes the press. I've been wondering where it was. It did give Sacred Heart some problems earlier.
There's Tootie Jordan into front court. Veering left, now spinning back in the lane. Great pass underneath, and Osteen could not convert as we have a Valkyrie foul in pursuit of that rebound, and this will be their 5th team foul.
Yeah, great rebound over there, and had a lot of hands grabbing in, and now we talk about big free throws.
Bree Wilkins going to check in as we've got a pair for GRC for the balance of this game on every Sacred Heart foul. 2:25 left. This will be Jalen Green again, and she just made her last 2.
Well, I think you're going to see Bree come in because of her offense and offensive rebounding potential. She could knock down the three, pull up. She could also rebound.
And Green swishing that first one as Mark alluded, Wilkins in and Caroline Osting exits.
Yeah, playing the freshman though, they're hanging with Gilvin. Gilvin's done a lot of good things for him, and they got her in there when it counts the most.
Both free throws in for Green.
To fill out that press, I thought we might see it again. I would have thought real serious about it that time.
2:20 left. There's Tootie, top of the key. Underneath, Zakiah spinning left. She's fouled from behind. That is the 15th foul on George Rogers-Clark.
Well, Chris, that's the very reason I said they ought to look at that 2-2-1 press. They just fall back and fall in their defense and hope they're going to post up Zakiah every time, and they're not going to stop the ball from going there. So I'd pick my opportunities out at three-quarter, not half court.
Zakiah draining the free throw. Johnson now with 20. And the second free throw off to the left and tracked down by Sierra Byers of GRC as they lead by one with 2:06.
Yeah, better watch out for Tootie. This Tootie time
remaining.
Here comes the trap potential.
And Yeast has it near sideline, under 2 now. As Wilkins shadows Yeast. Yeast spins it back over to Green. Green cut off temporarily. Green all the way to the basket again and laid it in.
Great play by Green. Tootie missed the opportunity for a steal and a foul. But
here's Gilvin in the corner. Entry to Morgan Fry. Fry spinning. Blocked out of bounds. It's going to stay Sacred Heart with 1:31 left.
I look for a timeout by Sacred Heart. They need to remember Zakiah Johnson's on the court.
They do have 3 stops left to the Valkyries, and Robbie Graham's going to call one for GRC. He was halfway down the scores table. He wanted to get the officials' attention, so that's actually going to be a George Rogers-Clark timeout. We'll take one more pause. 1:31 on the clock, GRC by 3, but Sacred Heart basketball right after this timeout on Glycod.
Go ahead, pour it on, as thick as you want to. Holy Smokes Barbecue and Catering. Serving up the tastiest ribs, chicken, brisket, brown sugar sticky wings, mutton and ham. Always served to you fresh and so good, it'll make you say,
Holy smokes!
Holy Smokes Barbecue and Catering, 7508 Preston Highway.
Holy smokes!
You're watching Louisville Basketball Game Night from Glycod.
Now, Mark, what do you draw up here for the Valkyries with 1:31 left?
Anything you draw it up for Johnson. I would guess they may do just more or less of a back screen and let her come across to the ball, block to block on the bottom. I've seen a lot of different things they run, but no matter what, the ball's got to end up in her hands. Let her make the decision. If not her, got to end up with Tootie on top, looking to take the ball to the basket, beat the defense, and Zakiah sliding in on the weak side back for the easy catch and shoot.
So Bree Wilkins will be out there. Also Morgan Fry, Riley Gilvin, and certainly Tootie and Zakiah's both teams still stationed on their bench inside this timeout.
It's a new time for Bree. Once again, if I'm gonna have a play right now and I'm down 3, there's no doubt about who's going to see the basketball. I think they'll try to get her the ball on the block right off the bat. It won't surprise me a bit. They do like that play with Bree where she inbounds the ball to Zakiah and then steps back in across the way. I don't see that happening right now. You also have an opportunity where they're going to step out here, hit Johnson with the pass, and then Tootie will come off of that. And Zakiah will either hand it off to Tootie or take it right baseline and attack. That might be the play you're looking at right here.
Tootie
that is
inbounds.
The play. There it is.
Yep,
She's going to look about taking it.
Zakiah's got it in the corner as Sacred Heart possesses the ball with 1:26 in this fourth. There's Tootie up top. Near sideline, it's swung to Bree Wilkins. On top, Zakiah with 1:13. Zakiah has a stride in the lane. Floats it up. Got the roll. And the Valkyries promptly call timeout. We're going to keep things here, Mark. Let's keep this strategy going. A 30-second timeout, 1:10 left, GRC ball leading by 1.
Once again, the charge take opportunity was right there. The whistles, the referees held their whistle on that, but that could have went either way, but I think it was a good no call. But as far as GRC goes, they're up 1. You know what you're going to see from Sacred Heart. I think they're going to, they fool me sometimes, but I could see a little bit of a 1-2-1-1, which has been good to them. Or go back to what's been best for you. Just go back and play that great half-court man-to-man and try to force someone that shouldn't be shooting the ball to shoot the ball. And I think that's what you're going to see right now. I think you're going to see Sacred Heart's staple defense being played for that opportunity to get something. And by gosh, one thing about it, you better not forget that Stamper's on the court, because she could change this right now with a big 3. You can't forget about her, and you can't help off of her very far.
Both teams, 5 fouls. Both teams, 2 remaining timeouts. The arrow in favor of Sacred Heart. GRC 94 feet. They will inbound underneath the Valkyries basket, right directly adjacent to the Sacred Heart bench.
Token man, they're going to pick up man-to-man. They're not going to look to trap. They're just going to pick up man and then fall back. I don't know, though, with Bree hanging out also, she is a trapper. So she could be involved in one-time trap.
An incidental horn blow here at the scores table. All 10 players back out on the floor, but no clear indicator that play can resume. Still inside the media break, I assume. 1:10 remaining as George Rogers Clark seeking their first ever state championship. This is their 3rd title game appearance. 0-2. And Sacred Heart, they've won this thing 8 times, including the last 4 years. GRC inbounding. There's Stamper in backcourt as Stamper caught the belt high pass. And it's deflected by Wilkins, but able to be grabbed by Jalen Green. In backcourt is Yeast. Yeast cannot hang on, and it's a 10-second violation.
Yeah. Needed a timeout right off the bat on that. That was an accident waiting to happen.
59.1 left as Sacred Heart's defense forces the turnover. And now Bree Wilkins will inbound at side court. There's Zakiah Johnson. She's double teamed. Johnson squirted it away, and it's stolen as Stamper got a hand on that ball. And Morgan Fry commits her 4th foul as Jalen Green fouled right in front of the Valkyrie bench with 52 seconds to play.
Well, we know what Green's done here lately, but I'm not going to open my mouth. I'll let you remember what she's done.
Made her last 4 by my recollection.
Well, you probably just helped her miss the next one.
Still 52.1 left. Again, both teams above the limit in fouls. So Green, the lefty, 2 huge free throws. The first one perfect. Kanaya Jones darts back in the game for George Rogers Clark as Kylie Stakelin, the sophomore, will leave. And Green, 3 patient dribbles, heaves it up, and it stayed in.
No threes is the key for GRC. No threes.
52 seconds left. Sacred Heart ball down 3 as Tootie pacing. Tootie crawling left, and she is fouled. She's going to head to the free throw line. This foul cited on T. Yeast of George Rogers Clark, and that might be, that's her 5th. So Yeast will be DQ'd, and Tootie Jordan, a superb free throw shooter in her own right at 85%, will have 2 momentarily.
Yeah, great play by Tootie, great confidence. Tootie knows she's going to knock down 2 and Sacred Heart's only going to be down 1, and you're going to see that press again. One thing they did, though, they disguised it really well with Yeast playing back. I knew something was odd, and they jumped into that 1-2-2 with a different look front, which was just great coaching.
Tootie perfectly executed that free throw, didn't even hit the rim. She'll have 1 more.
Now here, you better make sure you rebound on this free throw if you're GRC.
Tootie's perfect again from the line, so the lead at 1. Still 43 4/10 left. GRC going to inbound.
Well, we know what it was last time. I'd have my be talking to officials, ready to.
And a turnover on the inbound as Maxwell's pass ricocheted right off of Jalen Green in front of the Valkyries bench.
Excellent call, but we talked about that. GRC's used to getting beat, and you think that way when you're used to getting beat, and that's an advantage for Sacred Heart. Now GRC's got to make another spectacular stop.
Wilkins inbounds. There's Morgan Fry up top. Backdoor cut Tootie from Zakaya. Tootie puts it up, and she's fouled again with 36.9 seconds remaining.
Well, we know one thing. GRC's going to get the ball back with 1 point down now.
Tootie Jordan back for 2 more free throws. They're each their individual exercise, though, Mark. You know this. Free throw, perfect again. Not even hitting the rim.
Supreme confidence. You can read her.
And a timeout. George Rogers Clark, let's keep things here with 36.9 left. That's going to leave them with 1 as the Sacred Heart coaching staff in their own respective huddle outside of the team that's seated on the bench. And when we resume action, Tootie will have 1 more free throw.
Well, GRC's kicking themselves over the last couple possessions, trying to beat them down the court. But there's no time for that. They got to regroup. Great call by Coach Graham as far as I'm concerned, timeout. Tootie's been automatic, and anything you can do to affect the rhythm at this point in time, affect it. You know, you still got 1 timeout left. That's all you really need. And, he's hoping for a miss, a secure rebound, and then come down here and score right here at the end. That's his thought and hope. And that's Coach Graham.
So the Valkyrie coaching staff, they've taken their time now. They're back in the huddle, and head coach Donna Moyer, the Hall of Famer, will parlay those words to her seated players.
She's telling them once the ball goes through the net, I'd say they'll drop back and play some quality man-to-man defense, but you might see that press again. Ball through the net, you can do anything you want. But with that being said, she said make sure you get in position, make sure you execute your defense, make sure you do the little things correctly. She's just going over all those little things to actually calm them down and keep them thinking.
Some anxious times. If you just joined us, where have you been? 36.9 seconds left, tied at 60 to settle the Girls State Championship. It's been an outstanding game between 2 tremendous teams.
Yes, it has. Been a great game.
And Donna Moyer not going to have any fingernails left. She keeps chawing on them.
Well, I guarantee she feels a lot better than she felt about 45 seconds ago.
Pacing back now, drinking a jug of water down by the far end of the bench. And Tootie Jordan will have 1 deciding free throw here. And that one perfect. So the Valkyries by 1, 36.9 left.
And here you go.
And GRC will inbound as Byers triggering. Finds Stamper in the corner.
Yeah, they're going to fall out and run their defense. I don't see any traps coming.
Here comes Stamper pacing into front court. She'll go between the wickets and initiate the offense with 25 seconds left. In the corner baseline, that's Chestnut, and a backside pass out of bounds.
Yeah, that's rough. Rough decisions on that one.
Chestnut, the freshman, handling the ball in that scenario. And the Valkyries will inbound with 20.9 left, and Sacred Heart wants to call timeout, and they will. Incredibly surprised that either Stamper or Byers were not involved in that play development down there.
There's reason to be. I guarantee you Coach Graham's incredibly surprised also. But when you're playing young kids like that, and they also had a young lady foul out that's more in the rhythm and with the group, those things happen, and you can't get them back. It was a nightmare waiting to happen. As I watched the drive, she had nowhere to go, and anyway, feel bad for that young lady. That's a tough one.
So both teams, 1 timeout left. Sacred Heart's going to have the ball, 20.9 seconds remaining, and keep in mind every foul will result in 2 free throws, so if you're GRC, you certainly have to play that game, don't you?
Well, you also need to keep in mind that Sacred Heart has had fits against this 2-2-1 press until they pull themselves out of it. So this needs to be GRC's best 2-2-1 press they've ever run, and create the turnover and the layup for a 1-point lead is what they need to be thinking. Sacred Heart needs to be thinking, spread out, get to my spots, find a gap, get the ball to the middle, fan it opposite, and then make them foul us, and then go with free throw and win the ball game. Go to the free throw line.
So certainly Tootie Jordan has to be involved with ball handling, unquestionably so.
Well, first of all, you got to break their press. So you have to think that. If they're able to break their press and to get the ball across half court, then you make sure you try to get the ball back to Tootie, or at least back to Johnson, and let Zakiah or Tootie have the ball and have the last shot, because they're the best free throw shooters on the team. But first of all, got to beat this 2-2-1.
Incredible electric environment tonight. Sacred Heart trying to hang on, and boy, have they been tested this evening. They lead by 1. They've got the ball, 20.9 left.
Yeah, 2 untimely turnovers by George Roger Clark has really changed this game quickly.
Bree Wilkins to inbound for Sacred Heart. And Wilkins, far sideline, inches it into Tootie, and Tootie lost her footing. Trying to hang on to the ball. We have a whistle. The far side official is going to call a GRC foul. You had 2 officials right there, but the near side official to us by the scores table all the way over and said we have a foul.
Yeah, I don't agree with that call. You had 2 officials standing over waiting for a jump ball opportunity, and you have somebody run across the court to make the hero call. I'm not a big one on that one. I probably shouldn't say that, but that's just the fact.
Tootie Jordan going to have 2 free throws.
Basically ice the ball game.
With 18.1 left, as those officials closest were going to let that play continue on.
It should have been.
And Tootie for 2. This one stays in, although it hit the rim a couple times. So a 2-point GRC deficit.
Yeah, this is really, really big. They knock down this one, then I know a number 0 that GRC needs to be looking for.
And Tootie's short on that free throw, and Gilvin got the rebound but could not put it in as Morgan Fry out with it for Sacred Heart. And is there a foul underneath?
Push Morgan. Morgan will be shooting free throws.
Yeah, a GRC foul underneath with 13.5 seconds left. Gilvin had the rebound and missed a layup.
Yeah. Can't blame the young lady for going right back up with that rebound, but probably would have been nice to run it back around and run it out. And
Morgan Fry for 2 free throws. The first one is in.
I can't say anything but good things about Morgan Fry. She's knocked out free throw after free throw after free throw, and you look at her shooting percentage from the free throw line is 54%.
Fry
and she shot 100.
Is trying to make it a 2-trip game, and it's in. 13.5 left. A 2-possession game. Here comes Stamper into front court. Byers a deep right wing 3 off the mark. Gilvin the rebound at 5 seconds, and she's fouled with 4.8 left. And Sacred Heart down for 2 free throws.
Yeah, Sacred Heart's pressure defense and press turned the tables, and you have to give them credit. It looked pretty dire. But, they stepped up as champions do and made 2 big plays, and that's all it took. And then they went to the line and iced it.
You go back to those 2 possessions for GRC, those turnovers. I think that may be the difference for them tonight.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt. It was, they had everything where they needed it. But once again, when you're not used to winning that basketball game, you have all these terrible thoughts in your head that, I don't want to lose, I don't want to lose, I don't want to lose, instead of just going and winning. And that happens more than we all know, but if you watch sports enough, you see that.
Riley Gilvin 1 out of 2, and the Valkyries are going to win as Stamper. That's going to be Valkyrie ball as Stamper coming up the sideline. Lost it out with 8/10 left, and Sacred Heart going to send back in senior. Caroline Osting is Zakiah. Going to check out and get an embrace from her head coach. A moving moment.
Yeah, they're getting their starters out. What they're doing for ovations.
So Morgan Fry is going to check out. Caroline Osting gets a high five from her head coach. And the Valkyries, they're going to win their 5th consecutive state championship.
Yeah, tremendous job, and give so much credit to GRC. They played one heck of a ball game. They did everything really right down to the last few seconds, and that's all it took.
And the Valkyries have won it for the 5th consecutive time. Jubilation on the near sideline. Coaches embracing, players embracing, and a gallant effort by George Rogers Clark.
Yeah, fantastic game plan by Coach Graham, and tremendous play by the young ladies after he calmed them down early and got them attacking. They turned this game around into a different game. It was definitely a battle. 2 great teams. Too bad one of them had to get beat, but that's just the way it always ends.
Tremendous effort tonight. Sacred Heart a winner 65-60 over George Rogers Clark. Stay tuned. Much more programming ahead. We'll be back with more right after this timeout on Glycod.
UA Local 502 is offering great career opportunities for plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. They're seeking highly skilled and trained workers with or without experience. Incentives include debt-free education, employer-funded benefits, apprenticeship that comes with employment, and high starting wages. If you're ready to accelerate your career or just want a fresh start, UA Local 502 could be for you. Contact them at 502-361-8492. UA Local 502. We do it right the first time.
1965 male graduate and basketball star George Tensley knows the value of providing quality service, and that's what you get when you dine with Tensley Family Concessions. They provide travelers with many fine choices at Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. Whether it's Kentucky Fried Chicken, Chili's, or Starbucks, you know your travel experience will be a more comfortable and convenient one. Learn more about our company by visiting the website tfcfamily.com.
When you're buying or selling a new home and you want to do it with few hassles, count on Polo Real Estate Group. Founded and owned by 1993 Male High graduate Dion Reese, Polo Real Estate has over 2 decades of experience and offers skillful consultation and representation for your sale or purchase. Polo Real Estate Group, a realtor you can trust.
Check it. Ooh.
Need a better battery? Get an Interstate battery. Outrageously dependable.
Do they had an Interstate?
Come by Interstate Batteries, 1510 Production Road, Jeffersonville. Blunt Dental Group is a high-quality, family-owned dental practice. We are committed to educating our patients, as well as investing in the latest technology to provide more efficient dental care. Our team of licensed dentists and hygienists includes 2010 Male High graduate Tyler Blunt, located in the heart of Linden at 8013 New LaGrange Road, Suite 6. For an appointment, call 502-425-7068 or go online at bluntdentalgroup.com. Blunt Dental Group, straightforward smiles.
People want to define Gen Z, but that's our job.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital. I put out a forest fire. I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives and led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time. While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Tonight's post-game recap is brought to you by the Army National Guard. Protect what matters most to you. Visit your nearest National Guard recruiter or nationalguard.com.
Sacred Heart a winner tonight, 65-60 to claim their 5th consecutive state championship, their 9th in school history. And Valkyrie's Mark just made the plays they needed to make to win another one.
Yeah, they did. They never gave up, and they got in that press they've been running so well, and created 2 quick turnovers that got them back even or a little bit above. And then it came down to one play by the GRC Cardinals down on the bottom, and added the 3rd turnover in 3 opportunities, and that was the end.
And T. East, I think, fouling out of the game was really impactful for them because that really changed their rotation, and she wasn't out there at crunch time.
Well, the key, anytime you lose a player of her stature, but more or less, everybody's got to be on the same page, and everybody's got to have some experience. Everybody had experience but the young freshman that came in, and that's a lot of pressure on that young lady, and I just really wish her turnover hadn't been involved.
Well, Mark, you felt what Donna is feeling now. Back in 2010, what is it like? Walk us through what it feels like to win a state title.
I didn't really feel what Donna felt. She's on her 5th one in a row. I mean,
you felt 10% of what she's felt.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, 20%. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just, you work so hard and you want so bad for your kids, and you always have special seniors and you want to put them out the right way. It's there's just not enough words that can even describe that feeling, and it's something that you have forever. It doesn't go away. You can always look back on those fond memories, and those teams always keep coming back to see you your entire life. So it's definitely a gift, and anybody that has this opportunity, as Donna has, as I've had a couple times, there's nothing like it in high school sports.
Some final individual numbers. Zakiah Johnson leading all scorers tonight with 21 points. Tootie Jordan chips in 19 for Sacred Heart. For GRC, Jalen Green, 19. Got to 13 for Kennedy Stamper and 9 for Sierra Byer. So both teams being represented here, and we will have the trophy presentation, of course, as well. Look at your final numbers, and still to come, the most outstanding players. But for now, Sacred Heart, a 65-60 win over GRC, and we'll have more coverage right after this timeout.
Hey, I didn't order any pizza.
Jake from State Farm. After you saved me so much dough on insurance with that Parker promo, I devised a promo for you.
Here's the deal, Parker. State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Right. Pepperoni pockets, cuckoo crusties.
There's no promo, it's just great rates.
And a cider ranch.
For surprisingly great rates and great service, call State Farm agent Mike Shelton in Louisville today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
UA Local 502 is offering great career opportunities for plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. They're seeking highly skilled and trained workers with or without experience. Incentives include debt-free education, employer-funded benefits, apprenticeship that comes with employment, and high starting wages. If you're ready to accelerate your career or just want a fresh start, UA Local 502 could be for you. Contact them at 502-361-8492. UA Local 502. We do it right the first time.
Are you an HVAC and refrigeration tech looking for new opportunities? Tech 24 is your single source for commercial HVAC, refrigeration, and kitchen equipment maintenance all across the country. We have exciting career opportunities with great pay and benefits in your area. To learn more, contact Brad at 864-549-8344 and check us out on the web at mytech24.com. 864-549-8344.
Blunt Dental Group is a high-quality, family-owned dental practice. We are committed to educating our patients, as well as investing in the latest technology to provide more efficient dental care. Our team of licensed dentists and hygienists includes 2010 male high graduate Tyler Blunt, located in the heart of Linden at 8013 New LaGrange Road, Suite 6. For an appointment, call 502-425-7068 or go online at bluntdentalgroup.com. Blunt Dental Group, straightforward smiles.
Blinds Direct, not just blinds. Blinds Direct, not just blinds.
Research has shown high school sports to be a great community influence. Join scores of local businesses that have partnered with Glycod in sponsoring live, hometown-oriented sports programming on our video and social media platforms. For more information, email info@glycod.com.
People want to define Gen Z, but that's our job.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital. I put out a forest fire. I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives. And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
This segment of tonight's game is brought to you by the Kentucky Army National Guard. Serve your country while going to school or work full-time. Find your fit at nationalguard.com.
Now for a look at your final numbers presented by German American Bank. You can support your community school with a German American School Spirit check card. Visit germanamerican.com for more information. Valkyries win this game by 5, and free throws are largely one of the reasons why. There you see a plus 12 on made free throws in this game. They were a plus 10 on the backboard, and turnovers improved greatly as at the half, Sacred Heart had, I believe, 12 turnovers in the first half, so only 5 in the second half, and a 5-point Sacred Heart win. We are hopefully going to catch up. Mark is looking for Coach Moyer. Hopefully get a comment, if possible, from the state championship winning basketball coach, and we will be back to talk more about that and also your most outstanding players. Sacred Heart a winner, 65-60. We'll be right back on Glycod.
Founded in 1910 in the Ohio Valley region, German American Bank has been raising the standards in banking and wealth management for over a century. Big enough to provide the conveniences of modern banking, yet small enough to care about the people and communities we serve. Because we believe that when a community thrives, its people prosper. We're lending more than money. We're lending a hand. German American Bank, building our community together.
People want to define Gen Z, but that's our job.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital. I put out a forest fire. I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives. And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
New recruit, take advantage of our apprenticeship program. Come out of our 4-year course debt-free. With health insurance, a guaranteed pension, a degree, and an electrical license.
3 words I'd use to describe the apprenticeship are opportunity, skillful, educational,
solid career path,
rewarding, beneficial, and a brotherhood.
A life-changing opportunity.
The cost of school is free. All your books are paid for.
You go to school once every 2 weeks. All the other stuff is on-the-job training.
The teachers here are great. They're all very, very knowledgeable.
They're preparing you for what you're already seeing in the field.
You're struggling with something in school. Sometimes your fellow students can help you work through that.
Everyone's willing to help each other. It's like a big family.
I love being a part of a union, something bigger than myself.
This field is so vast. You can find something that you really love to do because there is so much you can do.
I went from a job to a life-changing career.
Power up your potential with the IBEW.
Lines Direct, not just blinds. Lines Direct, not just blinds.
Only your locally owned Cub Cadet dealer has genuine parts, accessories, trained service technicians, and the widest selection of innovative Cub Cadet products. We're here for you whenever you need us, with expert service and support to keep your equipment running at peak performance for years to come. Visit your locally owned power equipment dealer, Anderson Sales and Service in Madison, Crestwood, and our newest location at 1675 Watterson Trail in Louisville.
If a drunk driver hurts or kills someone, the bar or restaurant that overserved that person is jointly responsible. I'm attorney John D. Camillus, and Rob and I hold restaurants and bars accountable. Let me speak directly to bar managers and bartenders. Be a frontline hero. Have the courage to cut someone off. If you've been in an accident with a drunk driver, call us. Our reputation is our trademark.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Mike Shelton in Louisville today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're watching Louisville Basketball Game Night from Glycod.
Tonight's most outstanding players are presented by State Farm Insurance agent Mike Shelton. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Zakiya wrapping up her high school career with 21 points tonight, and a wonderful effort in defeat for George Rogers Clark, Jalen Green. Jalen finished with 19 points, including 9 of 10 from the free throw line. So the Valkyries still out to our lower right. They are snipping the final nets, and another trophy case heading home, another trophy heading back to Lexington Road from Lexington, Kentucky, as Sacred Heart has won another state championship. Trying to make eye contact with Mark Evans as he is in pursuit of Donna Moyer. Donna's still out there and going to be perhaps a minute longer, if that. We will remind you, coming up, more high school basketball on Monday, 8th Region Boys semifinals, a doubleheader. We will have coverage. Gary Forrest will join me for that. Walton Verona, North Oldham, followed by Spencer County, South Oldham. Again, the doubleheader starts coverage Monday at 6 o'clock with tip-off of Game 1 coming up at 6:30. We'll take one more timeout and be back to wrap things up. Sacred Heart 65, GRC 60.
Hey, I didn't order any pizza.
Jake from State Farm. After you saved me so much dough on insurance with that Parker promo, I devised a promo for you.
Here's the deal, Parker. State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Right. Pepperoni pockets, cuckoo crusties.
There's no promo, it's just great rates.
And a cider ranch.
For surprisingly great rates and great service, call State Farm agent Mike Shelton in Louisville today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
UA Local 502 is offering great career opportunities for plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. They're seeking highly skilled and trained workers with or without experience. Incentives include debt-free education, employer-funded benefits, apprenticeship that comes with employment, and high starting wages. If you're ready to accelerate your career or just want a fresh start, UA Local 502 could be for you. Contact them at 502-361-8492. UA Local 502. We do it right the first time.
Are you an HVAC and refrigeration tech looking for new opportunities? Tech 24 is your single source for commercial HVAC, refrigeration, and kitchen equipment maintenance all across the country. We have exciting career opportunities with great pay and benefits in your area. To learn more, contact Brad at 864-549-8344 and check us out on the web at mytech24.com. 864-549-8344.
Blunt Dental Group is a high-quality, family-owned dental practice. We are committed to educating our patients, as well as investing in the latest technology to provide more efficient dental care. Our team of licensed dentists and hygienists includes 2010 male high graduate Tyler Blunt, located in the heart of Linden at 8013 New LaGrange Road, Suite 6. For an appointment, call 502-425-7068 or go online at bluntdentalgroup.com. Blunt Dental Group, straightforward smiles.
Line Direct, not just blinds. Line Direct, not just blinds.
Research has shown high school sports to be a great community influence. Join scores of local businesses that have partnered with Glycod in sponsoring live, hometown-oriented sports programming on our video and social media platforms. For more information, email info@glycod.com.
People want to define Gen Z, but that's our job.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital. I put out a forest fire. I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives. And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
This segment of tonight's game is brought to you by the Kentucky Army National Guard. Serve your country while going to school or work full-time. Find your fit at nationalguard.com.
Here with the victorious five-time state champion, Donna, what about it?
We got down at halftime, and we didn't play our best ball the second half, so I knew we were going to be better than that, and we stepped up and made our free throws, we locked down on defense and played great.
Well, I love you, and I wish you the best, and my gosh, I'm happy for you.
Oh, thank you. Still, I don't even believe it, honestly.
Well, what can I say?
I know.
You take care.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Sacred Heart, and Mark, what a tremendous end to their season and to ours as well here at Glycod. It was a pleasure to follow them throughout the year.
Well, it really was. I was in a different spot than I used to be. We used to be major competitors and big-time rivals. And, the more I've been around, the more I've learned about that Sacred Heart program and Donna and everyone. So it's been a joy this year to follow them, and it's been a real joy just to do Glycod. When I got into this, I was very uncomfortable to say the least, but I really appreciate you, Chris, and the whole Glycod family for allowing me to be a part of it.
Been a wonderful journey. We will have more basketball coming up on Monday, 8th Region Boys semifinals again on the air at 6 o'clock. That'll do it for us. Congratulations, Sacred Heart family. You've won another state basketball championship. Good night from Lexington. For producer Steve Bird and analyst Mark Evans, I'm Chris Labar. Good night, and thanks so much for joining us on Glycod.
Glycod, this has been UA Local 502 Louisville Basketball Game Night. UA Local 502, they do it right the first time. Tonight's game was brought to you by Tinsley Family Concessions, commitment to quality. The Army National Guard, where the next greatest generation is now. German American Bank, building our community together. Polo Real Estate Group, a realtor you can trust. IBEW Local 369, power up your potential. Blunt Dental Group, straightforward smiles. State Farm Insurance Agent Mike Shelton. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And Holy Smokes Barbecue.
For schedule information about our upcoming broadcasts, visit our website, glicod.com, Facebook and Twitter @Glycod. We thank you for tuning into this live sports presentation from Glycod.